Chapter 408, Don't be afraid, I don't have a dragon. 4. People admitted defeat in all 4 matches, so the matches for today naturally ended, Leng Wuti said calmly. Alas! Those people were really too ruthless. He had participated in 3 competitions, but he had never known that the finals could be so easy. He was really envious, jealous, and hateful. Ah! Then what should we do? Lon Lai was puzzled. He still wanted to enjoy the exciting battles, but they didn't give him the chance at all. Let's go back. Leng Wuti turned and left. Wait for me. Lon Lai hurriedly chased after them. At the residence of Leng Ruoxue and the others. After today's matches ended, they left the competition venue directly from the back entrance and returned to their residence. Can I admit defeat directly tomorrow? Leng Qingtian teased happily as everyone gathered in the living room. Grandpa, I'll admit defeat tomorrow. Freak said ingratiatingly. He was referring to the match between him and Leng Qingtian tomorrow. He had to respect the old and care for the young. There's no need. I'm old, and I don't care about fame, benefits, and so on anymore. In the future, it will be the world of you young people, Leng Qingtian said in disapproval. All right. Freak knew that he couldn't object to his words. Little Lon Lon, there are only the 3 of us left now. Can we settle it in a day tomorrow? Leng Ruoxue asked uncertainly. According to tradition, there will be 2 rounds tomorrow. The top 3 will emerge after all of them are over, Lan Ming explained. That's good. Phew, the entire competition could finally end tomorrow. Leng Ruoxue immediately felt much more relaxed, even though she didn't have much pressure to begin with. Little Snowy, where do you intend to go after the competition tomorrow? Lan Ming asked sadly, his clear eyes full of reluctance. I don't know. Do you have any good recommendations? It's best if it's a place with a lot of medicinal herbs and minerals and where we can train. Leng Ruoxue stated her request. Ah. I actually know of a place that meets your requirements, Lan Ming said with several black lines hanging on his head. Alas. This girl's requirements were really high. But there really was such a place on the boundless heaven continent. It was just that it was too dangerous inside, so very few people dared to go there. Where? Leng Ruoxue asked with interest. That place is called the Dark Night Seas, Lan Ming said very cautiously. Little Snowy, you can't go there, Icy, who had his eyes closed, suddenly said. Why? Leng Ruoxue was even more curious when she heard that she couldn't go. A place that Icy said she couldn't go should be very dangerous. That is one of the most dangerous places on the boundless heaven continent. There are many transcendent divine beasts inside. Moreover, that place has no distinction between day and night, and it's forever shrouded in darkness. I'm not 100% sure that I can protect you wherever you go, so you can't just go anywhere now, Icy said very seriously. People had to at least have the strength of a mystic supremacy if they wanted to go wherever they wished. Moreover, they couldn't go alone. Otherwise, even a mystic supremacy wouldn't be able to return alive. Not now. When can I go? Leng Ruoxue asked in disappointment. Boo-hoo. She also knew that her current strength was too low. Your current strength is definitely not enough. But if you can have the strength of a mystic sovereign, I can still guarantee that you will come out alive, Icy said after some thought. He was not an ordinary transcendent divine beast, so protecting a mystic sovereign wasn't a problem. Oh. Little Lon Lon, you better tell me a place where I can go now, Leng Ruoxue complained, her watery eyes glaring fiercely at Lan Ming. Lan Ming thought for a while. Ah. Then let's go to Blue Cloud City. Don't you need medicinal herbs? There will be a grand medicinal herb exchange meeting there soon, and many alchemists will go to exchange. Blue Cloud City. The main city of the Lan family? Leng Ruoxue asked. Yes, Blue Cloud City organizes such a medicinal herb exchange every year. The Lan family has a few alchemists, so they value medicinal herbs very much, Lan Ming explained. Miss, the medicinal herb exchange in Blue Cloud City is very famous on the boundless heaven continent. Countless alchemists and medicinal herb merchants gather every year. But the medicinal herb exchange requires an invitation. Even alchemists might not be able to go, Zheng En said. An exchange meeting of that scale was undoubtedly attractive to alchemists. But ordinary alchemists or nameless alchemists like him who had no status at all were not qualified to enter. I see. Leng Ruoxue glared at Lan Ming with some dissatisfaction. Why does this fellow keep talking about places we can't go? Is he doing it on purpose? Don't stare at me. Since I said so, you can definitely go, Lan Ming said helplessly. Why didn't this girl have much trust in him? He was depressed. Don't tell me I have to go to the Alchemist Association to do a level appraisal. Leng Ruoxue said with a slight warning tone. She didn't want to go to the Alchemist Association now, nor did she want too many people to know her identity as an alchemist. No need. Although I can't invite you with my identity as a member of the Lan family, I can still ask for a few invitations for you, Lan Ming said confidently. Lan Lai happened to be here, so he would ask him for them tomorrow. Oh, that's more like it. Leng Ruoxue was very satisfied with Lan Ming's response. By the way, when will the exchange begin? Leng Ruoxue asked. A month and a half later. I was planning on going there after the competition ended. The time was just right. But the competition has ended early, so there will be a period of time before the exchange meeting. But if we travel slower, we will only arrive at Blue Cloud City a few days before the exchange meeting, Lan Ming said. Grandpa, let's go to Blue Cloud City first. Leng Ruoxue said to Leng Qingtian and the others. Okay. Everyone nodded. Medicinal herbs were also very important to them. Alright, it's getting late. Everyone, rest early. Leng Ruoxue said and left the living room with Freak without looking back. The next morning, Leng Ruoxue and the others arrived at the competition venue on time. There seems to be a lot fewer people watching today. Old Man said from his seat. Chapter 409, Don't be afraid, I don't have a dragon. 5, isn't that normal? Everyone knows the result of today's competition. Lin Liang said. Who would spend money to watch a competition that they already knew the result of? Although mystics were not short of money, they wouldn't waste money. That's right. Old Man nodded. Hee, they must have given the Mystic Association headquarters a headache. There seem to be a few new faces on the main stage, Old Zao said as he looked around and saw the main stage as though he had discovered a new continent. The one in the middle is Wugong. Lan Ming pointed at the middle-aged man in black sitting in the middle of the main stage. So he's Wugong. He's not that good-looking. Why do you say mystics are handsome men and beautiful women? Old Zao said with disappointment. I mean most mystics, Lan Ming said helplessly. Make yourself clear. I waited for nothing, Old Zao complained unhappily. Lan Ming was speechless. Boo-hoo. Why did this become his fault? These people were really too unreasonable. They only knew how to bully him. Ha! Everyone couldn't help laughing when they saw Lan Ming's pitiful appearance. The competition has begun, Feng Jing reminded. Alright, everyone, quiet down. The show is about to begin, Old Zao said excitedly. On the arena. Leng Ruoxue and Freak stood facing each other. Their eyes were tender and glued to each other. No one said anything, and they just kept looking at each other. Ahem. The referee couldn't take it anymore. He coughed twice and tried to remind them that it was a competition and everyone was watching. Stop being so mushy. Unfortunately, the two of them ignored the referee and continued looking at each other without saying a word. The match has begun. Are you still going to compete? The referee softly reminded helplessly. This competition could be considered the most abnormal one he had ever encountered. The two of them didn't even look at the referee. After a long while, Freak finally spoke. I admit defeat. Leng Ruoxue, victory, the referee shouted while suppressing his anger and cursing in his head. Damn, you wasted so much time admitting defeat. Is this fun? Then it was Leng Ruoxue versus Leng Qingtian. After Leng Qingtian went on the arena, he chatted with his precious granddaughter for a while. After chatting enough, he said, Referee, I admit defeat. With that, he jumped off the arena without waiting for the referee to announce the result. Leng Ruoxue, victory, the referee announced weakly. He was so angry that he was about to vomit blood. After that, Leng Qingtian and Yi Chen stood on the arena again. The battle between them was also the last match of this mystic competition. Referee, I admit defeat, the two of them said at almost the same time. Brat, who allowed you to admit defeat? Leng Qingtian roared. Didn't they agree beforehand? Grandpa, it's not bad if we draw. Freak said with a smile, his face full of flattery. Which one of you is admitting defeat? The referee asked while clutching his chest and panting heavily. Me, the two of them said in unison again. Both of you admit defeat. How do you want me to judge? The referee roared furiously. Mystic competitions had always been life and death competitions. People either won or lost. There had never been a situation where they admitted defeat at the same time. You can rule it a draw. Freak suggested very kindly. Mystic competitions have never had a draw, the referee roared. Then start with us. Freak said with a light smile. The rules were dead, and people were alive. How could they not innovate? All right. Leng Qingtian versus Yi Chen, draw, the referee hurriedly announced, not wanting to be angered to death. He could tell that these people were each more difficult to deal with than the other. It was better for him to leave early. After the referee announced the result, he left the arena angrily. But Leng Qingtian and Yi Chen didn't leave. Instead, they found a place to sit down. Leng Ruoxue walked onto the arena again and sat down beside them. The audience, referees, and people on the main stage were all surprised when they heard the referee's announcement. Then a few drops of cold sweat rolled down their foreheads. President, what do you think? The head referee walked to the main stage trembling and looked at Wugong fearfully. Cold sweat rolled down his back. Boo-hoo. Why did they always make him worry? He had already been scolded badly by the president yesterday. It seemed like it was inevitable today. Alas. Aren't the results out already? Wugong said coldly with a dark face. First place is out, but second and third place, the head referee stopped mid-sentence. Isn't it a draw? Then let's put them both in second place. There's no third place in this competition, Wugong said bluntly and then fell silent. Yes. The head referee handed the final result to the host after receiving Wugong's instructions. After receiving the results of the competition, the host climbed onto the stage again and announced very seriously with the loudspeaker in his hand. Next, let's invite President Wu to present the award to the top three, the host said excitedly. On the arena, Leng Ruoxue and the others were still sitting lazily on the ground and chatting, not at all aware that they were the top three. Why are you still sitting? Hurry up and get up. The president will be here soon. The head referee went up the arena early. He almost fainted when he saw the three people. This was too casual. Almost here. Doesn't that mean he's not here yet? Let's take a break first. It's quite tiring after two battles, Leng Ruoxue said without any intention of getting up. The head referee really hoped that he could faint now, but he just happened to be very energetic. Boo-hoo. Now he was sure that these three people were definitely doing it on purpose. They wanted to prank him on purpose. Damn it. He had never offended them. You all admitted defeat in both your matches. You didn't even fight. Are you still tired? The head referee couldn't help shouting at the top of his lungs after a moment of silence. Where did Lan Ming find these malignant stars? They were really infuriating. But he also knew that he had to settle these three people before the president came up. Otherwise, he couldn't guarantee that the president wouldn't be angered to death by them after coming up to present the awards. Chapter 4:10, Luring the Dog into the House. 1. I'm under a lot of pressure. Leng Ruoxue lied through her teeth, but she was muttering in her head, why hasn't Wugong come up yet? He's so slow at awarding. Ah. Please stand up first, okay? The referee had no choice but to lower his body and coax them. Boo-hoo. The president was about to arrive. What benefits will it bring us? Freak raised his eyes and asked indifferently. What he implied was that they wouldn't get up first if there were no benefits. The head referee was stunned and a little dumbfounded. Did I hear it right? They actually want benefits from me? Damn, what is this? How can there be such a person in the world? How hateful. Yi Chen. How can we ask for benefits from others? Leng Qingtian said with disapproval. Boo-hoo. Well said. There are still sensible people. The head referee was so touched that his eyes almost welled up with tears. However, Leng Qingtian deliberately paused. The grateful head referee's heart immediately rose to his throat again when he heard this. He looked at Leng Qingtian cautiously, afraid that he would say something shocking. Boo-hoo. I was wrong. This old man isn't a good person either. However, if the other party is the head referee, it doesn't matter, Leng Qingtian said with a smirk. It does. I'm very poor, the head referee hurriedly said and pretended to be pitiful. Head referee, tell the president to give us the rewards directly so that he doesn't have to present us with them, Leng Ruoxue said. Yes. Our time is very precious, Freak echoed. This is against the rules, the head referee said softly as he wiped the cold sweat off his forehead. Boo-hoo. He felt that it was better to faint, but he wasn't given the chance. Oh, how about you tell Wugong that we couldn't wait and left first and ask him to send the rewards to our residence? Leng Ruoxue suggested after some thought. What benefits do you want? The head referee admitted defeat. You can owe us first. We'll let you know when we think of it. Leng Ruoxue raised her eyebrows slightly and looked at the head referee. In fact, they were just teasing this old man for fun. They didn't expect him to take it seriously. Hee hee. Ah. The head referee was stunned. How could this be owed? He really couldn't understand the thoughts of these three people now. The head referee inadvertently looked up and saw that Wugong was only a few meters away from the arena. He couldn't help asking anxiously, President Wu is here. Can you get up first? Grandpa, let's give the head referee face. Leng Ruoxue said very kindly and then stood up from the ground. All right. Leng Qingtian also gave him face. Head referee, don't forget the benefits you owe us. Freak reminded and stood up. I won't forget, the head referee hurriedly said. Phew, that was close. As soon as Leng Ruoxue and the others stood up, Wugong led a group of elders onto the arena. After getting on the arena, Wugong saw Leng Ruoxue and the others standing on it. A trace of disgust quickly flashed in his shrewd and gloomy eyes, but his face was full of smiles and very amiable. At the same time, Leng Ruoxue and the others were also looking at the legendary Wugong. He was a middle-aged man in his 50s. He wasn't tall and was even slightly chubby. His appearance was ordinary, but his eyes revealed his nature. He was definitely a narrow-minded man who would seek revenge for the slightest slights. To put it bluntly, he was a villain. Moreover, the flash of disgust in his eyes just now didn't escape the eyes of Leng Ruoxue and the others. Ha, you must be the top 3 of our mystic competition. How outstanding! Wugong praised without thinking, his eyes full of appreciation. Leng Ruoxue and the others ignored him. How dare you? The president is talking to you. How dare you not answer, someone behind Wugong scolded. Is the president here? Where? Leng Ruoxue pretended to be stupid. The one in front of you is the president, the person said again. Is that so? But I heard that the president has been in seclusion. When did he come out? Leng Ruoxua looked at Wu Gong doubtfully, the word disbelief written all over her face. The president is in seclusion. I am the vice president of the headquarters. However, everyone calls me the president because they respect me, Wu Gong explained patiently. He looked amiable, but in fact, he was so angry that he wanted to chop Leng Ruoxua into pieces. Oh, but, even if the president is in seclusion, they can't call you president, right? This will cause people who don't know the truth to misunderstand, Leng Ruoxua said very naively, her eyes full of innocence. Moreover, the vice president is the vice president. If people call the vice president the president, it's also disrespectful to the president, right, vice president? Leng Ruoxua added. Yes, you're right. Wu Gong suppressed his anger. Damn woman, how dare she go against me? Humph. I won't let her go. Vice President, you're still the sensible one, unlike some people who only know how to curry favor. Vice President, you have to stay away from those people. Leng Ruoxua suggested and kept calling him Vice President. Hee, you're right. But today is a good day. Let's not talk about those disappointing things. Wu Gong cunningly changed the topic. Humph. His goal hadn't been achieved yet, so he would let this woman go today and slowly deal with her in the future. Vice President, where are our rewards? Leng Ruoxua stretched out her fair little hand. These are your rewards. Congratulations on obtaining good results. Wu Gong took out 3 storage rings and handed them to the 3 of them formally. Thank you, Vice President, Leng Ruoxua said with a smile. She poured all the things in the ring onto the arena and sat on the ground to count them one by one. She even took out a piece of paper that she had prepared beforehand to check carefully according to the content on the paper. Freak and Leng Qingtian followed suit. Chapter 411, Luring the Dog into the House, 2. Wu Gong and the others were at a loss for words when they saw Leng Ruoxua and the others taking inventory seriously. The corners of their mouths twitched non-stop as they cursed in their heads. Damn, do they have to be so embarrassing? Where did these bumpkins come from? They're already mystics. Don't they know they can examine the contents with their divine sense? Was there a need to pour them all out? An hour later. Leng Ruoxua and the others finally counted everything. Vice President, nothing is missing. Leng Ruoxua praised and stored the things on the ground back into the ring. Have you checked everything? Wu Gong's mouth twitched. Damn it, of course nothing is missing. Yes, Grandpa, Freak, let's go. Leng Ruoxua answered and turned to Leng Qingtian and Freak. Okay. The 2 nodded. The 3 of them walked down the arena tacitly. Wait, Wu Gong called out to the 3 of them. He was furious, but things weren't over yet. How could he let them leave just like that? Vice President, haven't you given us the rewards? Leng Ruoxua turned around and reminded him. There are other rewards, Wu Gong said. We aren't interested in anything except money and material things, Leng Ruoxua replied lightly. Are you not interested in being my disciple? Wu Gong asked with a friendly smile. Humph. I don't believe they won't be tempted. Many people want to be my disciple. Your disciple? Doesn't that mean we'll be the same as President Zhou? Leng Ruoxua said with a face full of surprise. Yes. If you become my disciple, Zhou Kun will be your senior brother, Wu Gong said confidently. Humph. I knew this ugly woman would be moved. Seems being my disciple is quite attractive. He was so pleased. Be Zhou Kun's junior sister. Leng Ruoxua frowned as if she was thinking. Yes. Your senior brother is very popular with women, Wu Gong coaxed. Leng Ruoxua looked like she was most likely charmed by his disciple. Ha, this is great. He believed his goal would be easily achieved. But I don't want to have the same master as him. Zhou Kun is really too annoying, and anyone willing to take him in as a disciple is most likely not much better, so let's forget it. Leng Ruoxue said as if she had made a major decision. What did you say? Wu Gong widened his eyes and looked at Leng Ruoxue in disbelief. The people behind Wu Gong were also in disbelief. Their hearts were in their throats, and cold sweat dripped down their bodies. Boo-hoo. They would definitely be implicated by Leng Ruoxue. The president loved to vent his anger. Now, they saw the president lose face. When this was over, they were doomed. They were dead meat. I said, I refuse to become Zhou Kun's junior sister. I can't afford to lose face, Leng Ruoxue said clearly and understandingly. Say it again. Wu Gong said, his face as colorful as a color palette. Aren't you still young? Why aren't your ears working well? Leng Ruoxue asked in puzzlement. You. Leng Ruoxue. I'm asking you to say it again. Wu Gong roared without caring about his image. All right. Seeing that you're old, I'll say it again. You have to listen carefully. This is the last time. Leng Ruoxue reminded. Tell me. Wu Gong roared, his face red. I said, I refuse to become Zhou Kun's junior sister, and anyone willing to take him in as a disciple is most likely not much better. Leng Ruoxue said with a light smile. Anyway, she had offended many people recently. As the saying went, there was no need to worry about debts when there were too many, so she didn't care if she offended this centipede. 1. Moreover, this centipede probably didn't have any good intentions by taking her in as his disciple. You. Leng Ruoxue. Don't regret it. Wu Gong roared in exasperation. Damn it. She's was too hateful. I'll only regret it if I become your disciple. Leng Ruoxue said disdainfully. Grandpa, freak, let's go. Leng Ruoxue turned to the two of them. Ignoring Wu Gong's anger, Leng Qingtian and Freak nodded, and the three swaggered off the arena. Old Man and the others were already waiting at the entrance of the passageway. Ha, lass. You're still the best. That centipede was almost angered to death, old Zhao said with a laugh. Alas. Little Snowy, you've completely offended Wu Gong this time. You have to be careful from now on, Lan Ming said worriedly and sighed heavily. Wu Gong was notorious for being petty, so that old thing would definitely find an opportunity to take revenge on Leng Ruoxue and the others. With his relationship with the Sun family, we can't get along peacefully with each other anyway. Moreover, he has been scheming against us for a long time, so I only collected some interest today, Leng Ruoxue said nonchalantly. Although the Sun family was currently an unshakable colossus to her, there were examples of ants biting an elephant to death, so there was nothing to be afraid of. Little Snowy, let's leave this place. I smell a stinky smell. Icy, who was lying on Leng Ruoxue's shoulder, wrinkled his little nose in displeasure. Okay. Everyone nodded, and the group left the competition venue and returned to their residence. Not long after they returned to their residence, some people came to visit. The people who came to visit entered the house openly in the name of sending an invitation. Wow, you are my idol. In the living room, Lan Lai's eyes lit up as he looked at Icy, who was napping on Leng Ruoxue's shoulder, his expression full of excitement. Icy rolled his eyes and said cockily, Don't worship me. I'm a legend. Legend? That's even more cause to idolize you. Lan Lai said excitedly. This puppy was really too mighty and extraordinary. He liked him so much. When Leng Ruoxue heard the conversation between the human and beast, 2 drops of cold sweat dripped down her forehead. Is this person really the future patriarch of the Lan family? Will the Lan family be at ease handing the family over to him? Ahem. Lan Ming couldn't help coughing twice to remind his nephew not to be too embarrassing. 1. Sounds similar to Wu Gong in Chinese. Chapter 412, Luring the Dog into the House. 3. Your name is Little Icy, right? You can call me Little Lai Lai, Lon Lai said warmly. Oh. Icy answered indifferently and ignored him. Oh. Little Icy, do you hate me? Lon Lai said sadly. This little beast obviously ignored him. I want to sleep. Go play somewhere else. Icy couldn't take it anymore. He glanced at Lan Ming, his blue eyes saying, is this person really your relative? Ah. Liar, little Icy doesn't like to be disturbed while sleeping, Lan Ming reminded kindly. Oh. Little Icy, you continue your sleep. I won't talk anymore, Lon Lai said understandingly. He stopped talking, but he stared at Icy intently. A moment later. Icy opened his eyes, his blue eyes full of displeasure. Little Lai Lai, don't stare at me. I will be shy. Ah. Lon Lai didn't expect Icy to be a shy puppy. He liked him even more now. Hee hee. Little Icy is so cute. Lon Lai's eyes shone with sincerity. Little Lai Lai, I'm going to bite you if you keep looking at me. Icy couldn't take it anymore and threatened. Little Icy, cute beasts can't threaten others, Lon Lai said aggrievedly. Boo-hoo, he just looked at him a few more times because he liked him too much. Why did he threaten him? I like to threaten others, Icy said nonchalantly. Little Icy, sleep obediently. As for you, we've already received the invitation. Thank you. If there's nothing else, you can go back first, Leng Ruoxue said bluntly. Hearing what Leng Ruoxue said, Icy closed his eyes obediently. Lon Lai was stunned. After returning to his senses, he blinked his eyes hard in disbelief. Did I hear it wrong? Ah. They're already chasing us away. This woman is too realistic. Leng Wudi and Sun Teng, who were also sitting in the living room, couldn't help grumbling. At this moment, there was another knock on the door outside the courtyard. Lan Ming stood up conscientiously and went to open the door. Soon, he returned with a dark face. What's the matter? Leng Ruoxue asked curiously after seeing Lan Ming's ugly expression. The headquarters just informed us to move out immediately, Lan Ming said. Oh. Then let's move. Leng Ruoxue said calmly. Little Snowy, if we leave this place, some people will have the chance to play dirty, Lan Ming said worriedly. Although private fights were not allowed in Carefree City, it would be a different story if the headquarters deliberately shielded them. Little Lan Lan, we can't stay in the headquarters forever. Some people will also be anxious over time. At that time, they will always turn a blind eye. We can't do anything to them either, Leng Ruoxue said. Shuer is right. We can do whatever we want outside, Ling Qingtian said. He had always agreed with his granddaughter's opinion. Alas. All right then. Let's find an inn to stay at first. Why are you looking for an inn? Move to our Lan family's estate in this city. Lon Lai said warmly. Hee hee, this way, he could have the most intimate contact with little Icy. His idea was really too good. He was so proud. This isn't too convenient. Leng Ruoxue declined tactfully. Lon Lai's thoughts were written all over his face. But she was really afraid that Icy would be harassed. After all, Icy's temper wasn't very good. She really didn't know what Icy would do if he was provoked. Ah. It's indeed inconvenient, Lan Ming said helplessly. The puppy's temper was terrible. Uncle, what's so inconvenient? I'm the only one staying in the estate now. I don't believe that the Sun family will dare to come to our Lan family estate to kill you, Lon Lai said indignantly. Little Snowy, let's go live with little Lai Lai, said Icy, who kept his eyes closed. All right then. Leng Ruoxue said. She was even less afraid since little Icy wasn't afraid of being harassed. Hee hee, then come with me quickly. Lon Lai said happily. Then he stood up and prepared to lead the way. Leng Ruoxue and the others tidied up simply and then moved in with Lon Lai. The Lan family estate was on the other side of Carefree City. The Lan family estate was located at the southernmost part of Carefree City and occupied a very large area. The estate was surrounded by mountains and rivers, and the air was fresh. The estate was also shaded by trees and blooming with thousands of flowers. The exquisite pavilions and buildings were so beautiful that they made people sigh. There were rock mountains, and a clear river flowed through the entire estate. Silver-white fish swam freely in the river, appearing very carefree. Leng Ruoxue and the others were arranged to stay in Ningxi Garden. Ningxi Garden was said to be the best garden in the Lan family estate. The decorations and furnishings inside were luxurious. In Leng Ruoxue's room. "Miss Leng, are you satisfied with this place?" the steward of the estate said with a face full of pride. This Ningxi Garden was the best residence in the entire estate other than the main residence. In the past, only their Lan family's fifth young lady, Lan Ninger, had the chance to stay here. He didn't expect the young master to arrange for them to stay here today. Who were they? The steward was very curious. Very satisfied, Leng Ruoxue said lightly. The residence was beautiful, and the furnishings in the room were very exquisite. It was obvious that the owner cared a lot about this residence. But to her, it was fine as long as she lived comfortably. She didn't care about anything else, but seeing the steward's proud face and eager gaze, she could only say that she was satisfied. "That's good. Miss Leng, have a good rest. I won't disturb you any further." The steward left after speaking. "Swear, this place isn't much." Freak murmured with some dissatisfaction after the steward left. The smell of incense in the room was too pungent, and he didn't like it at all. "Make do with staying for a few days." "Well, leave in a few days," Leng Ruoxue comforted. She had already discussed with Lan Ming and planned to set off for Blue Cloud City in 3 days. Chapter 413, Luring the Dog into the House. "For, Swear, let's sleep in the space tonight," Freak said. "Okay." Leng Ruoxue nodded. "I'll go too," Icy looked up and said hurriedly, as if he was afraid of being left behind. "Little Icy, I thought you were asleep," Leng Ruoxue said with some amusement. "Ha, Icy was harassed by Lan Lai on the way to the Lan family estate. I pretended to be asleep. That kid from the Lan family is really too clingy. I can't take it anymore," Icy couldn't help complaining. "Ha, then why did you agree to stay here?" This was something Leng Ruoxue didn't understand. Why did Icy agree? It was too strange. For the silver snow fish, of course. Icy swallowed his saliva. Alas! What a delicious fish. He couldn't help feeling excited just thinking about it. Silver snow fish. Leng Ruoxue looked at Icy doubtfully. "Did you see the river in the estate? The fish in there is the silver snow fish I mentioned," Icy explained. "Is that fish delicious?" Leng Ruoxue asked curiously. "Delicious. Not only is it delicious, but it can also be used in medicine. In short, it's incomparably precious," Icy said, so hungry that his saliva was about to drip down. "Swear, the silver snow fish is the main ingredient in refining the silver snow pill. The silver snow pill is a heaven-grade pill that can help great mystics break through to Mystic Monarch. But the success rate of silver snow pills is very low, so they can absolutely be considered priceless medicinal pills. I think that boy from the Lan family took a silver snow pill. Otherwise, it would be impossible for him to advance to Mystic Monarch so quickly," Empty said via voice transmission. Lan Lai's aptitude was good, but that fellow was too lazy and not very concerned about cultivation. This was known by everyone on the boundless heaven continent. "Yeah. Little Snowy, let's steal all these silver snow fish. If you raise them in your space, the quality of these silver snow fish will definitely be better." Icy's face was full of desire as his big ice blue eyes looked at Leng Ruoxue eagerly. "Ah. Leng Ruoxue began to sweat profusely. Icy's idea was really. Alas! She really wanted to know if Lon Lai would cry to death if he knew that he was the one who lured the dog into the house. Little Snowy, is it okay? Icy asked cutely, blinking his big eyes. All right. But for Lan Ming's sake, we can't steal all of them, Leng Ruoxue said helplessly. In fact, she was quite interested in the silver snow pill. Yes. Just leave 2 for them, Icy said generously, his fluffy little face full of pride. Leng Ruoxue was speechless. Little Icy, you are really ruthless. When she came, she saw at least a few thousand fish in the river. She didn't know how long the Lan family had been raising them. Great, now little Icy had his eyes on them and even wanted to wipe them all out at once. Alas! Little Snowy, I'm not doing it for me. You also need silver snow pills. Icy said aggrievedly while looking at Leng Ruoxue's expression with tears shining in his beautiful blue eyes. Ah! I didn't say anything. Let's go steal fish tonight. 2 drops of cold sweat rolled down Leng Ruoxue's forehead, and she hurriedly changed the topic. Boo-hoo. Can these beasts not be so smart? Okay. Icy immediately wiped his tears away and answered happily when he heard that they were going to steal the fish at night. Little Icy, how did you know that the Lan family has silver snow fish? Leng Ruoxue asked curiously. Icy shook his little head and explained, this isn't a secret on the boundless heaven continent. But silver snow fish are very difficult to raise. Currently, no one has raised them in the entire continent except for the Lan family. Moreover, silver snow fish love the cold the most. Therefore, the colder the water used to raise them, the better. There happens to be a natural cold pool below this Lan family estate, so the silver snow fish can survive. Wouldn't there be a lot of people who want to steal fish? Leng Ruoxue guessed. With the value of the silver snow fish, wouldn't this fish be thought of all day long? There are definitely many people who want to steal them, but they have to have the guts to steal them. Moreover, silver snow fish themselves aren't so easy to steal. You'll know tonight. Icy kept her guessing. Oh. Leng Ruoxue answered softly. She was really curious after hearing Icy's words. Time passed slowly. In the dead of night, Leng Ruoxue summoned Rise and got him to cast an invisibility spell on her, Freak, and Icy before sneaking to the river in the yard. So cold. Leng Ruoxue felt the temperature drop significantly when she stood by the river, and she instantly understood what Icy meant earlier. Little Snowy, quickly store the fish away. Icy said anxiously. Hee, it wouldn't be so easy to steal silver snow fish because of the cold. Okay. With a thought, Leng Ruoxue put 1/3 of the fish in the river into the bracelet. Suddenly, Icy pinched his throat and shouted, help! There are assassins! When Leng Ruoxue heard Icy's cry, 2 drops of cold sweat dripped down her forehead. She looked at Icy in surprise. Little Icy, what are you shouting for? Hee, little Snowy, there will be a good show to watch. Icy smiled mysteriously and kept silent. Little Icy, you've learned bad things. Leng Ruoxue teased. Little Icy actually liked to keep her in suspense. But she knew very well that little Icy had most likely discovered something, even though he refused to say it. Just as Leng Ruoxue thought, several figures quickly emerged from the other residences of the Lan family state after little Icy finished shouting. Moreover, the sound of fighting sounded soon after. Little Snowy, let's go somewhere else to steal some more, Icy suggested after seeing that most of the fish in this section of the river had been stolen. Little Icy. Isn't this enough? Leng Ruoxue said speechlessly. Was little Icy really planning to wipe out all these silver snow fish? Would the Lan family cry to death then? Little Snowy, silver snow fish breed quickly, so don't worry. There will be many more in this Lan family estate soon, Icy said nonchalantly. Leng Ruoxue wiped the cold sweat off her forehead and said hesitantly, but it probably wasn't easy to raise them to become so big. Chapter 4:14, Framing. 1. Little Snowy, you have to believe me. Moreover, these fish are already mature. Even if we don't eat them now, they will be eaten by the Lan family, Icy said understandingly. The silver snow fish could be used to concoct pills, but it would be best if the fish used to concoct the silver snow pills were not fully mature. This way, the effects of the concocted silver snow pill would be the best, and the mature silver snow fish were the most delicious. Moreover, if these fish weren't eaten for a long time, they would naturally die when the time came, so they must not be wasted. The Lan family eats them too. Leng Ruoxue was puzzled. Weren't silver snow fish very precious? Little Snowy, silver snow fish have a growth cycle, and their longest lifespan is only 10 years. So it would be a waste not to eat these fish after they mature. Moreover, even though silver snow fish aren't easy to raise, they are very good at producing offspring, so there's no need to worry, Icy explained. Alas! Little Snowy is too kind. Oh! Then let's go. Leng Ruoxue nodded, and they changed places to continue stealing fish. In another courtyard, two groups of people were fighting, while Leng Ruoxue's group was busy stealing fish and changing several places one after another. Little Icy, is this enough? Leng Ruoxue asked with slightly raised eyebrows. There were only about 100 fish left in the entire river now. She couldn't bear to steal anymore. That's it. Alas! Little Snowy, you're too kind. Icy nodded reluctantly. Ah! Let's go see the commotion. Leng Ruoxue wiped the cold sweat off her forehead. Wow! Little Icy actually said I was kind. Okay. Let's cause trouble, Icy said with unconcealed excitement. Causing trouble was his favorite. Leng Ruoxue nodded speechlessly, and the two humans and two beasts walked toward the fight. In the main residence, the guards of the Lan family were fighting with several men in black. There were saber flashes and sword shadows all over in the huge courtyard, and colorful mystic power flew everywhere. After arriving, Leng Ruoxue and the others stood to the side and watched the battle. They were invisible anyway, so others couldn't see them. Little Snowy, the lowest level of the Lan family's guards, is Mystic Monarch. Icy watched the battle while taking on the task of explaining. Yes, as expected of one of the three great families. They have a strong foundation, Leng Ruoxue said while staring at the two parties in the fight. Those men in black aren't bad. They are generally mystic sovereigns. Little Snowy, guess who sent them? Icy asked with a naughty smile. It's either the Sun family or the Mystic Association headquarters, right? Leng Ruoxue guessed. Hee, they are all from the Sun family. Otherwise, why would the guards of the Lan family work so hard? Icy said with slight pride. Okay. Leng Ruoxue nodded. She had also heard that the Lan family and the Sun family had always been at odds. But from the looks of the fighting, it seemed to be even more serious than the rumors. Schwer, are we just going to watch? Freak suddenly asked, his pitch-black and bright eyes shining with a mischievous light. Leng Ruoxue looked at Freak and asked with a smile, what do you want to do? Hee, look at me. Freak smiled evilly, then changed his voice and shouted at the top of his lungs, someone come quickly. The Sun family is here to sell the silver snow fish. After hearing the shout, the leader of the men in black, who was fighting with the guards of the Lan family in midair, almost fell down. Damn it! Who's setting us up? The leader of the men in black cursed. They were obviously here to kill Leng Ruoxue and her group, but they were discovered by the Lan family's guards as soon as they arrived. Now, they were even accused of stealing fish. He was so depressed. He hated the people who spoke out twice. How dare the Sun family come to our Lan family to steal fish, the leader of the guards said coldly with disdain. We're not here to steal fish, the leader of the men in black tried explaining. You're not here to steal fish. Humph. Then what are you doing here in the middle of the night? Don't tell me you're here for a walk. This isn't your Sun family grounds. You can't behave atrociously here. The guard leader didn't believe him at all. After all, there was nothing good about the Sun family in his heart. Just take it that we're here for a walk, the leader of the men in black said helplessly. Alas! Why was he so miserable? He knew that it wouldn't work no matter what he said. They wouldn't take them seriously. Coming to our Lan family's territory for a walk is equivalent to an attack. You will also die, the guard leader said without hesitation. We're both mystic sovereigns. You can't kill me, the leader of the men in black said with a sneer. That might not be the case, the guard leader said confidently. The two of them quickly began fighting again. Not far away, Len Ruoshua broke out in a cold sweat after hearing Freak's shout. Hee, little Chen Chen, you're also naughty. Icy praised while watching the two parties fighting more and more intensely. I think they still aren't satisfied with fighting. Why don't we add fuel to the fire? Freak suggested. Oh. Icy's big blue eyes looked at Freak doubtfully. At this moment, Freak had already taken out the small and exquisite bamboo tube, aimed, and shot at the butt of one of the men in black. In just a few seconds, the man in black fell to the ground with a plop. The Lan family guard who was fighting him stood rooted to the ground, his face full of question marks. Ha, this is fun. Let me play with it. Icy took the bamboo tube from Freak and held it with one hoof while another hoof kept pressing the small button. A few minutes later, all the men in black collapsed except for the leader. The guards of the Lan family were all stunned at the same time. What happened? One of the guards squatted down and looked at the dead men in black, his face full of puzzlement. Now, only the leaders of the two sides were fighting in the spacious yard. The leader of the men in black didn't realize that his subordinates had already met their makers. Chapter 4:15, Framing, 2, Sir Lan, our silver snow fish have been stolen. The steward, who had gone to check on the silver snow fish, ran to the two of them while panting heavily. You're really here to steal fish? How shameless, the guard leader said angrily. I told you we were here for a walk, the leader of the men in black quibbled while cursing in his mind, damn it. Who's framing us? Go to hell. The guard leader roared and used his strongest move. Just as he was about to attack with all his might, he found that his opponent had actually collapsed. The guard leader was stunned. He retracted his mystic power and looked around in bewilderment. He found that all the men in black had fallen to the ground at some point. Ah! When did the Sun family become so weak? The steward walked to the guard leader and asked curiously, Sir Lan, has your strength increased again? No, I didn't kill him, the guard leader said honestly. Ah! But he died in front of you, the steward said in puzzlement. The guard leader squatted down and carefully examined the body of the leader of the men in black, only to find that his body had already turned completely black. This was obviously a sign of poison. Could these people have come to steal fish with the determination to die? The Sun family is really too vicious. He committed suicide, the guard leader concluded after checking. He stole so many of our fish. I wouldn't have let him go even if he didn't commit suicide, the steward roared furiously. How many did they steal? The guard leader couldn't help asking when he saw the steward's angry appearance. The silver snow fish couldn't be stolen just because people wanted to, so it was already good enough that these people could steal a few in his mind. There are only slightly more than 100 left. Boo-hoo, the steward wanted to cry but had no tears. His fish. They were gone just like that. Boo-hoo, the Sun family was really too despicable. He had thought of many ways to raise those fish, and it wasn't easy to raise them so well, but now. Report to the patriarch. Tell him that the Sun family stole our silver snow fish, the guard leader said decisively. Okay, the steward said through gritted teeth. After hearing the conversation between the guard leader and the steward, Len Ruoxia's group of 2 humans and 2 beasts quietly returned to Ningxi Garden. After entering the room, Len Ruoxia, Freak, and the two beasts couldn't stop laughing. Ha, it's so funny, Leng Ruoxue said with a light smile. Yes. The Sun family will definitely be the scapegoat, Freak said happily. Hee hee, it's all thanks to me. Icy said cockily, his tail curling up proudly again. If he hadn't discovered those black-clothed people immediately, how could those fellows have been discovered by the Lan family's guards as soon as they sneaked into the Lan family estate? Hee hee. Yes. You're the smartest. Leng Ruoxue caressed Icy's little head and praised him. Shuer, let us out. Leng Qingtian sent a voice transmission from the bracelet. They knew that Shuer and the others were going to steal the silver snow fish, so they wanted to broaden their horizons. So they had all entered the space and seen everything that happened outside. Moreover, they had long been rolling on the ground laughing in the space. Okay. Without a thought, Leng Ruoxue moved her grandfather and the others out. Ha, lass, the Sun family really suffered a double loss this time. They suffered such a tremendous loss. I think the Sun family will be so angry that they will vomit blood. Old Zhao chuckled, extremely happy. Hee hee, the Sun family was here to kill them, but they didn't even get to see the people they were going to kill and even became fish thieves instead. Alas! How pitiful! Ruoxue, your poison is really powerful. Even mystic sovereigns couldn't resist it, Feng Jing said with amazement. The effects of the poison earlier really surprised him. That's because we launched a sneak attack. In a real battle, we wouldn't even be able to touch the corner of a mystic sovereign's clothes with our current strength, Leng Ruoxue said very sincerely. Her poison was quite powerful, but she had to have a chance to use it. Otherwise, the poison would just be a decoration. Hee hee, no matter what, your poison boosted our confidence. Old Zhao said excitedly. Yeah. Leng Ruoxue nodded. Alright, it's getting late. Everyone, go back to your rooms and sleep. Leng Qingtian said. This wasn't their home after all. There were many experts hiding in the dark in the Lan family. Okay, lass. Well, go back to our rooms. Old Zhao left Leng Ruoxue's room with everyone. Shuer, let's rest too. Freak said. Okay. With a thought, Leng Ruoxue brought Freak and the two beasts into the bracelet. After entering the bracelet, they went straight to the pond where the silver snow fish were being raised. Beside the pond, all the beasts and Empty were gathered, drooling and looking at the silver-white fish swimming happily in the water. Don't tell me you want to eat the fish. Leng Ruoxue shook her head helplessly. All the beasts and Empty nodded in unison, their eyes revealing desire as they looked at Leng Ruoxue pitifully. Not now. Leng Ruoxue said without negotiation. She had so many beasts, so how could this small amount of fish be enough? Fortunately, in the space, these fish would grow faster, and their lifespans would increase, so she believed that they would be able to have fresh and delicious silver snow fish to eat soon. Leng Ruoxue looked at the beasts and Empty and continued to warn them. Alright, everyone stop looking. I've handed these fish to Qingju to manage. No one is allowed to eat them secretly, especially Empty. Shuer, why me in particular? Empty said defiantly. Everyone had the same thoughts, but why did she only name him? Boo-hoo. Shuer is too biased. Because it's you, Leng Ruoxue said. Then she ignored him and pulled Freak directly toward the purple bamboo house. Hee hee. Icy turned his head and covered his mouth to laugh. Chapter 4:16, Framing, 3, Everyone, stop looking. Go to sleep. Empty said gloomily and walked toward his residence. The next morning. After breakfast, Leng Ruoxue and the others were chatting in the garden when Lan Lai brought Leng Wudi over. Little Icy, I'm here to see you. I haven't seen you for a night. I missed you so much, Lan Lai said mushily. At the same time, everyone present was so shocked that they broke out in cold sweat. Beside him, Leng Wuti immediately jumped 2 meters away from him with a very strange expression on his face. His eyes stared at him with slight fear, and the words "I don't know him" were written on his face. "Little Icy, I'm talking to you. Why are you ignoring me?" Lan Lai said coquettishly. Icy shook his head and said very seriously, "Don't think about me. I'm not interested in males." Everyone was speechless. Boo-hoo. Little Icy, you really hurt my heart. I missed you for the entire night and didn't sleep well. Look, I have dark circles under my eyes, Lan Lai said pitifully. Tears flashed in his eyes but didn't fall. Go after a female. I'm a male, Icy said furiously. Damn it. The Qilin race didn't approve of boy love. But I only have you in my heart, Lan Lai said suggestively. Little Snowy, I can't take it anymore, Icy said pitifully to Leng Ruoxue. Ah. There's no need to hold back anymore. Leng Ruoxue suppressed her smile. Okay. Icy was angry, especially after seeing everyone turning their heads to snicker. So he opened his mouth and sneezed loudly, blowing Lan Lai out of Ningxi Garden. Of course, he was lenient compared to how he treated the Sun family. Everyone watched as Lan Lai flew out of the garden with a whoosh and disappeared. They broke out in cold sweat and thought in unison, "Fortunately, we aren't the ones flying out." The atmosphere in the garden immediately fell to a minimum, and everyone fell silent. After a long while, Lan Lai limped in a very sorry state into Ningxi Garden with the help of a servant. Little Icy, you're too cruel, Lan Lai said aggrievedly with tears in his eyes. Unfortunately, Icy didn't even raise his eyes and started snoring on Leng Ruoxue's shoulder. Seeing Icy ignoring him, Lan Lai turned his head and said to everyone, "You have no sympathy." But Leng Ruoxue and the others also turned their heads, and no one bothered with him. "Uncle, your cute nephew is injured," Lan Lai called out directly, unwilling to give up. "Ah. Then quickly return to your room to rest." Lan Ming braced himself and comforted him helplessly. Lan Ming's answer displeased Lan Lai, so he said to Leng Wuti, "Little Di, your best friend is injured. If you call me Little Di again, I will hurt you even more," Leng Wuti said indifferently with a cold smile. Little Di. Ha! That's a good name. Old Zhao started laughing hysterically after hearing this name. Leng Wuti threw a sharp glare at him. But not only did it not stop old Zhao from laughing, he even laughed more happily. Leng Wuti was depressed. These people were mentally abnormal and couldn't be inferred with common sense. So he didn't bicker with this old man. Humph. Little Di, can you bear to do it? At this moment, Lan Lai secretly looked at Leng Wuti and pretended to be pitiful. Yes, I can. You can try calling me that again if you don't believe me, Leng Wuti said with a spurious smile, his eyes very unfriendly. Ah. If you don't like it, I won't call you by that name. Lan Lai admitted defeat. Boo-hoo. He couldn't defeat this fellow. Alas. He was in a disadvantaged group. Leng Wuti nodded, very satisfied with Lan Lai's tact. Lan Lai found a seat and asked with concern, "By the way, were you all right yesterday?" "We're fine. Thank you for your concern," Leng Ruoxue said lightly. "It's really strange. Those people of Sun family actually committed suicide and stole many of our silver snow fish," Lan Lai continued, his handsome face full of doubts. "They committed suicide to avoid punishment. It's very normal." Leng Ruoxue said. "That's true." Lan Lai thought about it for a bit and then stopped thinking about it. "Lan Lai, we will be leaving the day after tomorrow. Thank you for your hospitality," Leng Ruoxue said politely. "Okay. I'll go with you then. I haven't returned to Blue Cloud City for a long time. I can go home and take a look," Lan Lai said with a smile. "Did I hear it wrong? Do you mean that you miss home?" Leng Wuti's eyes widened in disbelief. "What do you mean? Can't I miss home?" Lan Lai shouted. It's unrealistic for you to miss home, Leng Wuti said matter-of-factly. He had known Lan Lai since they were young. He knew Lan Lai's character better than anyone else. This guy had never liked to stay at home since he was a child, and he wanted to run away from home whenever he had the chance. Now, a person who liked to run away from home suddenly said he wanted to go home. Wasn't this more unbelievable than red rain falling from the sky? Young master. Before Lan Lai could argue, the steward suddenly appeared in Ningxi Garden and whispered something in Lan Lai's ear. What is she doing here? Ask her to stay in Peace Garden, Lan Lai said impatiently and glared at Leng Wuti. This man is really a source of trouble. Fifth Miss refused, the steward said helplessly. The Lan family was deeply troubled by their fifth Miss' willfulness, but they were helpless. Alas! The fifth Miss was favored. She has to agree even if she doesn't want to. It's not up to her, Lan Lai said furiously. Humph. He couldn't do anything to these people, but couldn't he deal with the Lan family? The steward was in a dilemma. Tell her that she can either go to Peace Garden or scram. Tell her what I said, Lan Lai said angrily. All right then. The steward braced himself and went to find the fifth miss. Leng Wuti raised his eyebrows slightly and asked lightly, What? Is there trouble? Chapter 4:17, Framing, 4, Nothing. A fly flew in, Lan Lai said nonchalantly. Seventh brother, how can you let others stay in my residence? Lan Ninger's voice sounded as soon as Lan Lai finished speaking. Then a red-dressed girl ran into the yard angrily and stood in front of Lan Lai to question him. Miss Lan Ninger, are you questioning me? Lan Lai said with a smile that was not a smile. He might seem easygoing in front of Leng Ruoxue and the others, but in front of others, he was the fully deserving and unquestionable young master of the Lan family. I am Grandpa's most beloved granddaughter. How can you give my residence to others? Lan Ninger said very unpleasantly, but her tone subconsciously became much lower. After all, Lan Lai was the young master of the Lan family and the future patriarch. Even if their grandpa doted on her, she would probably suffer if she angered the heir of the Lan family. So she really didn't dare to be too presumptuous in front of Lan Lai. Your residence? How is it yours? Lan Lai said coldly without even looking up. Everyone knows that I live in Ningxi Garden as long as I come here, Lan Ninger said loudly. She looked at the people in the courtyard from the corner of her eyes. Humph. Apart from Big Brother Leng, all of them are ugly. It was too infuriating. Lan Lai actually let these ugly people stay in her Ningxi Garden. She was so angry. So what? They are my friends. They can stay wherever I allow them to stay. You have no right to ask, Lan Lai said without giving her face. You. Lan Lai, how dare you? I'm Grandpa's most beloved granddaughter. I'm going to tell Grandpa. Lan Ninger roared furiously. Go ahead. I want to see how Grandpa will react when he finds out that his most beloved granddaughter actually yelled at the heir he chose. Don't think that just because Grandpa dotes on you that you can look down on everyone. Let me tell you. I am the young master of the Lan family. What crime will you be charged with if news of you disrespecting the young master reaches the elders? Lan Lai said very curiously. Just you wait. Lan Ninger glared fiercely at Lan Lai, turned around, and walked away angrily. It really was a troublesome fly, Leng Wuti said lightly after Lan Ninger left. You two bad fellows actually call the #1 beauty of the boundless heaven continent a fly. If her admirers know, just their saliva will drown you too, Lan Ming couldn't help teasing. Who dares, the two of them said in unison. Then they looked at each other and smiled tacitly. Everything was unspoken. Alas! Men are trouble. Leng Ruoxue looked at Freak and suddenly sighed with emotion. Schwer. Freak looked at Leng Ruoxue aggrievedly. How could Schwer say that about him? He was cruel and merciless to all women except Schwer. Well, he must have been implicated by these fellows. He looked at Lan Ming and the others. These three fellows now had the potential to be the source of trouble. Little Snowy. Lan Ming also looked at Leng Ruoxue aggrievedly, thinking, the real trouble is you two. Why are you maligning me? He's the one attracting the flies and mosquitoes. I'm a pure and innocent child. Lan Lai pointed at Leng Wudi and plucked himself clean without any sense of loyalty. So young Master Leng stinks. No wonder you attract flies and mosquitoes, Leng Ruoxue teased with a smile. Leng Wudi's face darkened, and he was at a loss for words. He really couldn't understand how a handsome and talented man like him became stinky in Leng Ruoxue's eyes. Moreover, it wasn't his fault that he attracted flies and mosquitoes. Boo-hoo. He was so wronged. Yes, he stank a long time ago. Lan Lai added oil to the fire fearlessly. Are you courting death? Leng Wudi's anger rose. He stood up and attacked Lan Lai. Leng Wudi is so angry that he flew into a rage. He's going to kill someone. Help! Lan Lai dodged Leng Wudi's attack while shouting loudly and began playing hide-and-seek with him. Just like that, the two of them engaged in a chase and battle in the garden. Leng Ruoxue and the others looked helplessly at Lan Lai and Leng Wudi chasing and fighting like children. They felt that they should return to their rooms and gave the entire garden to them. After chasing for a long time, the two of them were tired and lay on the grass. But when they looked up, they found that everyone was gone, and only the two of them were left in the huge garden. When did they leave? Boo-hoo. My little Icy. Lan Lai cried exaggeratedly. Don't cry like a woman. That's not your little Icy, Leng Wudi said honestly. He was really helpless about his good friend's daydreaming. Boo-hoo, Lan Lai cried even more sadly. Damn little Dee is rubbing salt on my wounds. Cry slowly. I'm going to my room. Leng Wudi stood up, dusted himself off, and left Ningxi Garden. After a while, Lan Lai saw that no one was really paying attention to him. So he stood up, dusted off his clothes, and left. 2 days passed quickly. For the past 2 days, Leng Ruoxue and the others told Lan Ming that they wanted to cultivate and almost didn't leave their rooms. In fact, they did this to avoid conflict with certain Lan family members. Moreover, they had been staying in Leng Ruoxue's bracelet for the past 2 days. In Leng Ruoxue's room. Ha! Swear, we're leaving the Lan family estate today, Leng Qingtian said happily. For the past 2 days, Lan Ninger had always been looking for trouble with them. Fortunately, they were in seclusion and didn't see anyone, so Lan Ninger was stopped by Lan Ming. Grandpa, let's pack up and set off. Leng Ruoxue said. She had already told Lan Ming that she planned to leave early today, so they decided to set off before dawn. Lass, we've already packed up. Actually, there's nothing much to pack, old Zao said. Their things were all in Lass' space, and there was almost nothing outside. Chapter 4:18, Leaving Without Saying Goodbye. 1. Leng Ruoxue looked around at everyone and said, Then let's go. Okay. Everyone nodded and exited the room. When they arrived at the garden, Lan Ming was already waiting for them. Lan Ming welcomed Leng Ruoxue and the others. Shall we go? Okay, let's go. Leng Ruoxue nodded. After Leng Ruoxue finished speaking, Lan Ming brought them out of the Lan family estate and headed for Blue Cloud City. Half a month later. Leng Ruoxue and the others arrived at Sheep City. Sheep City was a medium-sized city on the boundless Heaven continent and a must-pass stop on the way to Blue Cloud City. At the same time, it was also one of the Lan family's subordinate cities. So Sheep City could be said to be relatively bustling. After entering Sheep City, Leng Ruoxue and the others found that the pedestrians on the streets were looking at them with pleasant surprise as if they had seen treasure on the road. Little Lan Lan, have you noticed that the gazes of the pedestrians are a little strange? Leng Ruoxue asked doubtfully. Calm down. I guess they've never seen people as ugly as you, Lan Ming guessed as a drop of cold sweat dripped down his forehead. Ah. Possibly. Old Zhao nodded in agreement. Although they had taken less traveled roads along the way, none of the people they encountered were too ugly. Little Snowy, let's stay here for the night. Lan Ming led everyone to the door of an inn. We can stay anywhere, Len Ruoxue said lightly. What Lan Ming said might be a factor, but she still felt that something was amiss. Seeing no one having any objections, Lan Ming led them directly into an inn. After booking the rooms, they went to their rooms to rest. After entering her room, Len Ruoxue brought Freak directly into the bracelet. In the bracelet. Little Snowy, where are we? Icy, who had been sleeping in the bracelet after they got on the road, asked curiously. We're at Sheep City, Len Ruoxue said. Icy tilted his little head and thought for a bit. Oh. At your current speed, it will take at least half a month to reach Blue Cloud City. Yes, there's no hurry. The medicinal herb exchange meeting will begin in 20 days. Len Ruoxue caressed the fur on Binky's head and smiled lightly. Little Snowy, it'll go out when we reach Blue Cloud City, Icy said. He really didn't like to travel. Okay. Len Ruoxue nodded. Qing Ju appeared in front of Len Ruoxue. Big sister, someone is knocking on the door outside. I'll go out and take a look. With a thought, Len Ruoxue left the bracelet. After returning to her room, Len Ruoxue opened the door and found a few uninvited guests standing outside. It's you, Len Ruoxue said calmly. She sighed softly in her heart. Alas. Why did they catch up? What? Don't you want to see us? Lan Lai said angrily. These bad people actually left quietly without saying goodbye while he was still sleeping. Boo-hoo. He was abandoned by little Icy. I don't want to. Len Ruoxue said honestly. She felt a headache looking at the three handsome men with all sorts of characteristics in front of her. It was enough to have Lan Ming as a source of trouble. If there were 3 more of them, then it would definitely be a disaster. Len Ruoxue's words made 2 drops of cold sweat drip down each of their foreheads. You're really honest, Len Wudi said gloomily. Alas. After living for more than 20 years, he only knew today that he was actually so unpopular. Boo-hoo. He, who was so strong-hearted, was also sad. Thank you for the compliment, Len Ruoxue said with a smile. I'm here to challenge your man, Sun Ting said coolly, implying that he was different from them. Challenge? If you have patience, wait for him to advance to Mystic Monarch. He's not free now, Len Ruoxue said coldly. Although Sun Ting was different from those annoying Sun family members, she still didn't want to have any contact with the Sun family. I can control my cultivation level to elementary mystic, Sun Ting said impatiently. No, you are a Mystic Monarch after all. What if you can't afford to lose and use your Mystic Monarch strength to deal with my man? Len Ruoxue obviously didn't believe him. Ah. I'm not that shameless, okay? Sun Ting explained with a black face. I'm sorry. I heard that the Sun family's reputation has always been poor, so I don't believe you, Len Ruoxue said nonchalantly, not taking Sun Ting's anger seriously at all. Sun Ting was so angry that he couldn't speak. Ha! Lan Lai laughed happily upon seeing Sun Ting deflated. Hee, Len Ruoxue was still the best. She could anger someone to death. He was much more balanced now. Laugh. Laugh to death. Sun Ting roared furiously. Laugh slowly. Please leave after you're done laughing. I won't see you out. Len Ruoxue closed the door and locked the 3 of them outside. Ah. The 3 of them looked at the closed door and were stunned. Finally, they looked at each other in puzzlement. When did they offend Len Ruoxue? Why were they so unpopular? It must be because of you. The Sun family wanted to kill her, so we were implicated by you. Lan Lai looked at Sun Teng and pushed the blame onto him. What does that have to do with me? The Sun family is the Sun family, and I am me. Sun Teng was aggrieved. He just wanted to spar with Yi Chen. Why was it so difficult? Very possible. Leng Wuti also looked at Sun Ting thoughtfully, his mind racing. It might not be me. It might be you. I don't think Leng Ruoxue gave you any face. Sun Ting rolled his eyes at Leng Wuti. Me? How is that possible? I didn't offend her. Leng Wuti didn't think that they were unwelcome because of him. Just like this, the three handsome men, who made all the women on the boundless heaven continent crazy, stood at the door of Leng Ruoxue's room as if no one was around and started blaming each other. Chapter 419, Leaving Without Saying Goodbye, 2, the next morning. Leng Ruoxue and Freak opened the door of the room and were about to leave when they found that the door was blocked. Why are you sleeping here? Dumbfounded, Leng Ruoxue kicked the three people blocking her room. Ah! Why did we fall asleep? Lan Lai rubbed his eyes and yawned. You're blocking the way, Leng Ruoxue said calmly. Who knew how you fell asleep? Ah! Are we leaving? Lan Lai hurriedly got up from the ground. He also kicked the other two people a few times while he was at it. He kept muttering in his head, how can these two people sleep like dead pigs? He was awake, but these two people were still asleep. Leng Wuti opened his eyes and asked, what's the matter? Sun Teng also opened his slightly dazed eyes and asked foolishly, why is the sky bright? It's already the next day, three young masters, Leng Ruoxue said helplessly. It seemed like these two people were really muddle-headed from sleeping. Alas! Weren't they afraid of encountering bad people? They actually slept so soundly. Oh, let's go then. Leng Wuti finally woke up completely. Leng Ruoxue looked at Freak helplessly and then pulled Freak straight to the dining hall. In the dining hall, Leng Qingtian and the others had already ordered breakfast and were sitting in chairs, waiting for them. Grandpa. Leng Ruoxue and Freak found a seat and sat down, their faces still full of helplessness. What happened? Leng Qingtian couldn't help asking when he saw his granddaughter's unnatural expression. 3 uninvited guests. Leng Ruoxue sighed and explained. As they spoke, the three entered the dining hall and sat at the table closest to Leng Ruoxue's group. Uncle, you're too much. How could you abandon me? Lan Lai complained aggrievedly with tears in his eyes after seeing Lan Ming. Didn't you already find us? Lan Ming said helplessly. Yes. Fortunately, I'm smart and posted your portraits on notice boards for a reward. Otherwise, you would have escaped again, Lan Lai said proudly. No wonder people on the streets looked at us as though they saw money after we entered the city. So it was all your fault. Leng Ruoxue said in realization. Hee, but you're really slow. We've been here for a few days, Lan Lai complained. This sheep city was a necessary stop on the way to Blue Cloud City, so they had decided to wait here. We're not in a hurry. Why would we travel so quickly? Isn't it better to admire the beautiful scenery of the boundless heaven continent along the way? Leng Ruoxue said nonchalantly. In fact, they had spent more time walking less traveled roads in the past half a month. But unfortunately, they didn't encounter a group of bandits again. How can the scenery on the road compare to Blue Cloud City? Let's go to Blue Cloud City to enjoy the beautiful scenery quickly. Lan Lai said anxiously. Young Master Lan, you can leave first if you're in a hurry. You don't have to be with us, Leng Ruoxue suggested. No hurry. I'm not in a hurry, Lan Lai said quickly. Anyway, he had made up his mind that he would stick to them no matter what Leng Ruoxue said. Boo-hoo. Little Icy, I'm suffering so much for you. Then let's go together. But you have to listen to me on the way, Leng Ruoxue said. Since she couldn't shake them off, they should go together, lest they caused any trouble. She didn't want to become famous to the point where everyone knew her. Yes, yes. Lan Lai nodded vigorously like a puppy. After breakfast, everyone was about to set off, but another uninvited guest arrived. It was the fifth daughter of the Lan family, Lan Ninger. Leng Ruoxue looked at Lan Ninger, whom she had only met once. She was dressed in bright red, had beautiful facial features, skin as fair as snow, and a noble temperament that was beyond reach. Apart from her arrogant and overbearing character that was not very likable, this girl was indeed a rare beauty. At the entrance of the inn, Lan Ninger ignored everyone and ran straight for Leng Wudi. Big brother Leng, what a coincidence. Are you leaving? Let's go together. Lan Ninger said very warmly, the expression on her face of a shy girl in love. We're taking our time traveling. As a noble young lady, you're not suitable to travel with us. Leng Wudi frowned and declined politely. He didn't want to bring such a delicate beauty along with him. In his opinion, women were troublesome. It's okay. I don't mind. Who asked us to run into each other so coincidentally? Lan Ninger said with a sweet smile on her face. What a coincidence. Lan Lai said with a spurious smile. Humph. Coincidence? Who would believe it? They weren't 3-year-old children. Were they so easy to fool? Seventh brother, you're here too. Lan Ninger said in surprise, pretending to have just seen Lan Lai. I've been here all along. Don't you know? Lan Lai said angrily. Oh. I'm sorry. I didn't see seventh brother, Lan Ninger said guiltily. That's my honor, Lan Lai said lightly. Humph. Who wanted to be seen by her? Whoever caught her I would be unlucky. And that unlucky person now was obviously Leng Wudi. Let's go. Leng Ruoxue didn't want to see them bicker. After speaking, everyone left the inn tacitly and walked out of the city. Lan Lai and the other two hurriedly followed the group. Don't tell me you're so poor that you don't even have flying beasts. Why are you walking? Lan Ninger couldn't help complaining after walking behind Leng Ruoxue and the others for a while. It's healthier to walk. If you can't walk anymore, Miss Lan, please go ahead. Leng Ruoxue said lightly. You. Do you know who I am? How dare you talk to me like this? Lan Ninger roared furiously. Miss Lan, I don't think we requested for you to travel with us. You can leave first if you can't take it anymore. But if you insist on following us, you have to listen to me. I'm not interested in who you are, Leng Ruoxue said rudely. She hated people who bullied others with their power the most. She would blacklist both men and women who did so, and this young lady from the Lan family had obviously entered her blacklist. Chapter 420, Leaving Without Saying Goodbye, 3U. How dare you treat me like this? Our Lan family won't let you go. Lan Ninger threatened, her beautiful face slightly distorted from anger. Are you threatening me? Leng Ruoxue said with a spurious smile, her watery eyes releasing a fierce and terrifying cold light. I am the most favored fifth young lady of the Lan family. Lan Ninger stammered, frightened by the coldness in Leng Ruoxue's eyes. So what? Leng Ruoxue said nonchalantly. Watch her. Don't let her get in my way. Leng Ruoxue turned her gaze to Lan Lai and warned with slight displeasure. Ha! I guarantee you'll be fine if you dare to teach her a lesson, Lan Lai gloated. Oh! Isn't she your sister? Leng Ruoxue was at a loss for words. What kind of brother was this? She wasn't born out of my mother's womb. I don't recognize her. In Lan Lai's heart, only those of the same father and mother would be recognized by him. The others could only be considered relatives. If the relatives respected him, perhaps he would still give them a good face. But for someone as arrogant as Lan Ninger, forget it. He really couldn't afford such a sister. Seventh brother. You. Lan Ninger was very aggrieved. She looked at Lan Lai with tears in her beautiful eyes. Then she pounced on Leng Wudi, who was beside Lan Lai, trying to seek comfort. But Leng Wudi didn't want this chance to console the beauty at all. He dodged lightly and left this rare opportunity for the cold ground. Pfft! Lan Lai looked at the stunning beauty who fell to the ground and laughed hysterically. Big brother Leng, how could you? Boo-hoo! Lan Ninger didn't care about being in a sorry state and directly lay on the ground and sobbed. Miss, quickly get up. The ground is cold. The maidservant beside Lan Ninger stepped forward to help Lan Ninger up, but Lan Ninger refused to get up no matter what. Young Master Leng, please persuade our young lady. She listens to you the most. The maidservant had no choice but to seek Leng Wudi's help with tears in her eyes. Unfortunately, Leng Wudi ignored her and pretended not to hear her. Since she likes the ground so much, just stay there. I'll tell Grandpa later that his most beloved granddaughter has fallen in love with a piece of land. In addition, I'll also suggest to Grandpa to marry her to this piece of land, Lan Lai said seriously. Humph. Did she really think they were idiots to play tricks in front of them? Which one of them hadn't gone through thousands of tests and difficulties to become young masters? If they were easily fooled by a woman's little trick, then they wouldn't have to work as young masters in the future. Ha! Little Lai Lai, that's a good idea. Old Zhao laughed hysterically after hearing what Lan Lai said. Hee hee, this kid from the Lan family is quite interesting and ruthless with his words. I like it. Lan Lai, how dare you? After hearing Lan Lai's words, Lan Ninger couldn't pretend anymore and hurriedly got up from the ground. It was very embarrassing to fall to the ground, but it was better than letting Lan Lai go back and spout nonsense. Why wouldn't I dare? Little Snowy, you've seen it. How can such a woman be qualified to be my sister? Lan Lai asked nonchalantly. Let's continue. Leng Ruoxue suppressed her smile and didn't answer his question. But she felt that this Lan Lai was a little interesting. Ah. Perhaps she didn't have to be so against him. Okay. Everyone nodded and continued walking forward. Lan Ninger called out Big Brother Leng several times, but there was no response. She thickened her skin and followed. Lass, let's camp here tonight. Old Zhao suggested after walking for nearly a day. Okay. Leng Ruoxue nodded. Everyone stopped and set up the tents together before preparing dinner. Lan Ninger sat down on a rock to rest. I want this tent. After resting enough, Lan Ninger looked around at each tent and finally chose the one that satisfied her the most. She planned to stay in it tonight. I'm sorry, Miss Lan. If you want to stay in a tent, you can set up your own, Leng Ruoxue said directly without even looking at her. What do you mean? You want me to do this kind of rough work myself? Lan Ninger roared in disbelief, her beautiful eyes widening. Miss Lan, haven't you heard that only by doing things yourself would you have ample food and clothing? Not only do you have to set up your own tent, but you also have to make your own food, Leng Ruoxue reminded. Why you? Say it again. Lan Ninger shouted, so angry that her face turned a little green. How was this possible? It shouldn't be like this. This was completely different from what she imagined. She originally thought that with her status, these people would definitely treat her as an esteemed guest and take good care of her, so she had only brought one maidservant with her and sent all the guards away. But she didn't expect to receive such treatment. She was the most favored fifth young lady of the Lan family. How could she be allowed to do crude work by these servants? She couldn't understand no matter what. I said you have to do everything yourself. If you can't endure hardship, you can leave early, Leng Ruoxue said coldly. You, Lan Ninger pointed at Leng Ruoxue for a long time but didn't say a complete sentence. Obviously, she was already extremely angry. Big brother Leng, this ugly monster is bullying me. Lan Ninger turned her head to Leng Wudi, seeking protection. Set up the tent quickly if you don't want to sleep outdoors. Leng Wudi said lightly. He really couldn't be bothered with this woman if not for the good relationship between the Leng family and the Lan family. Wow, It smells so good. Lan Lai exclaimed. He had already picked up a piece of grilled meat and was eating it heartily. Hee hee, the early bird gets the worm. Birds that don't work don't have worms to eat, and birds that don't work have nowhere to sleep. Lan Lai gloated as he ate. Cold sweat dripped down Leng Ruoxia's forehead as she looked at Lan Lai's excitement. How much do you hate this relative? How can you be so happy? Everyone surrounded the fire and happily ate the delicious grilled meat. But Lan Ning'er and her servant were not so comfortable. Chapter 421, Leaving Without Saying Goodbye. 4, Miss, what should we do? Lan Ning'er's maidservant asked helplessly. Boo-hoo. I'm so hungry. Set up a tent. Is there still a need to ask? Lan Ning'er roared furiously. But, the maidservant stammered. But what? Lan Ning'er said impatiently. She was so angry now. We didn't prepare a tent, the maidservant whispered fearfully. The young lady never slept outdoors when she went out, so they had no habit of preparing a tent at all. Boo-hoo. I'm dead meat this time. What did you say? Lan Ning'er asked in disbelief, thinking she heard it wrong. I said, we didn't bring a tent, the maidservant whispered. Then where are we going to sleep tonight? Lan Ning'er was dumbfounded. She even forgot to be angry. The only thing she remembered now was that she couldn't sleep outside. She was the most favored fifth young lady of the Lan family, not to mention that Big Brother Leng was still here. Yes, there's Big Brother Leng. He definitely can't bear to leave a delicate beauty like me without a place to sleep. Hee hee. Thinking of this, she suddenly became happy, and she was even a little glad that she didn't bring a tent. Otherwise, why would she have an excuse to have intimate contact with Big Brother Leng? She had already begun to fantasize. After eating, Leng Ruoxia and the others returned to their tents to sleep. Only Lan Lai, Leng Wudi, and Sun Ting were keeping night watch. Big Brother Leng. Lan Ning'er walked to Leng Wudi when she saw that almost everyone had left. She called out softly, her beautiful eyes twinkling seductively. What's the matter? Leng Wudi raised his straight eyebrows and pretended to be stupid. In fact, they all knew what Lan Ning'er was up to. They were just pretending to be stupid. Big Brother Leng, I came out in a hurry and didn't bring a tent. Can you? Lan Ning'er deliberately said half of what she wanted to say. You want to borrow a tent? Leng Wudi asked lightly. If it's convenient, we can. Lan Ning'er was shy and couldn't say it. In fact, what she wanted to say was, we can squeeze in together. Okay, go and stay inside. I want to keep watch tonight, Leng Wudi said generously. Humph. If big men like them let a woman sleep outdoors, who knows how Lan Ning'er would complain about them after she returned to the Lan family. Thank you, Big Brother Leng. Lan Ning'er's beautiful face was full of gratitude. But she was a little disappointed in her heart. Alas! Why doesn't Big Brother Leng understand? Haven't I given enough hints? After thanking him, Lan Ning'er obediently led her maidservant into Leng Wudi's tent. You're such a good person, Lan Lai muttered with some dissatisfaction. Do you want her to go back and complain? I'm fine, but Leng Ruoxia and the others probably won't have it easy. Leng Wudi said. Humph. You're right. Lan Lai snorted coldly and said gloomily, then fell silent. The next morning. After waking up, Leng Ruoxia and the others had a simple breakfast and continued on their way. Half a month later. At noon, Leng Ruoxia and the others arrived at Blue Cloud City. Standing outside the city gate of Blue Cloud City and looking at the tall and mighty city wall, Leng Ruoxia and the others were also abnormally excited. This was one of the largest cities on the boundless heaven continent. They could already feel the majestic and extraordinary might of Blue Cloud City outside the city gate. As expected of Blue Cloud City. Old Zhao sighed. Of course. This is our Lan family's main city, Lan Lai said proudly. Our Leng family's proud cold city isn't bad either. Leng Wuti said, unwilling to be outdone. Leng Ruoxua looked at Sun Teng, who didn't say anything, and said lightly, the Sun family's Sun Zhou city is probably similar to Blue Cloud City. Why don't you take a look when you have the chance? Sun Teng said coolly, his face expressionless from start to finish. Don't worry. We will go, Leng Ruoxua said with a light smile. Sun Zhou City, we will go sooner or later, and... Humph. You bumpkins are finally here. At this moment, a disdainful mocking voice sounded from the city gate. The owner of the voice, Lan Ninger, also appeared. Not only that, but a large group of people followed behind her. Leng Ruoxua looked at Lan Ninger, whose tail was about to curl into the sky, and smiled without saying a word. On the second day of their journey, Lan Ninger had abandoned them when they passed through Burn City and returned to the Lan family alone with her maidservant. As for the cause, of course, it was because of the tent. When they passed through Burn City, Leng Ruoxua knew that she didn't have a tent, so she had asked her to buy one. But she refused no matter what. Later, Leng Ruoxua told her clearly that since she refused to buy one herself, no one would lend her a tent the next time she slept in the wilderness, so she ran away in a fit of anger. There were many shops belonging to the Lan family in Burn City. Lan Ninger must have found someone from one of the shops to return to Blue Cloud City ahead of time. You inexperienced bumpkins, didn't you hear me talking to you? Lan Ninger was instantly angry when she saw that no one was paying attention to her. Humph. This was the Lan family's territory. These ugly monsters shouldn't even think about having a good life since they were here. Little sister Ninger, are they the people you mentioned? Asked a woman in blue beside Lan Ninger. Yes, it's them. Lan Ninger gritted her teeth in hatred. How dare you bully our Lan family, the blue-clothed woman rebuked indignantly. Without a saying word, Leng Ruoxua turned to look at Lan Lai. Lan Feier, how dare you be rude to my friend? Lan Lai roared furiously. Damn it. The mocking expression on Leng Ruoxua's face made him want to find a hole to burrow into. It was too embarrassing. Seventh brother, they bullied little sister Ninger. As an elder brother, not only did you not vent your sister's anger for her, but you even sided with outsiders. Grandpa won't let you off if he finds out. Lan Feier accused, as if Lan Lai had really committed a big mistake. Chapter 422, Setting up a stall and poaching in the corner. 1. Lan Feier, don't use that old man to suppress me, nor do you have to try so hard to please Lan Ninger. She will never agree to share a husband with you, Lan Lai said with slight mockery, exposing Lan Feier's thoughts unceremoniously. Humph. It was already an open secret in the Lan family that Lan Feier liked a certain someone. Only she thought she had concealed it very well. Lan Feier, you. Is what he said true? Lan Ninger questioned with raging jealousy. Little sister Ninger, don't listen to his nonsense. Can't you tell that he wants to sow discord between us? Lan Feier quickly comforted. She hated Lan Lai to the core. After hearing Lan Feier's words, Lan Ninger was still a little skeptical. But after some thought, she felt that what Lan Feier said made sense. Young Master Lan, your status as the young master isn't much either. Looks like anyone can order you around, Leng Ruoxua said lightly. That's right. Brat Lan, you are too vexed as the young master. I only realized today that the Lan family doesn't take you seriously. Old Zhao also sowed discord, his face full of pity. Lan Lai snorted softly and said coldly, humph. Isn't that because some dogs like to rely on others and always use an old man to suppress me? Damn it. Who did you say is a dog? Lan Ninger roared furiously. I'm talking about dogs. Lan Lai smiled gently. Then he turned to look at Leng Ruoxua and the others. Ignore these dogs. Let's enter the city. Okay. Leng Ruoxua nodded, completely ignoring Lan Ninger and her group. Wait. They can't enter the city. Lan Ninger pointed at Leng Ruoxue and the others, her face totally pleased with herself. What did you say? Lan Lai narrowed his eyes. I said, they can't enter the city, Lan Ninger said proudly. Humph. Blue Cloud City was her territory. She didn't believe that these ugly monsters could enter if she didn't allow it. I haven't been home for a long time. I only found out today that you, Lan Ninger, are in charge of Blue Cloud City. Lan Lai was so angry that he laughed mockingly. Humph. This is Grandpa's idea. Lan Ninger took out her trump card and brought up the patriarch. She didn't believe that Lan Lai would still dare to stubbornly protect these people. Is that so? Lan Lai's expression was very calm. In fact, he was so angry in his heart. Humph. Damn old man, just you wait. He didn't think that Lan Ninger would lie to him because she didn't have the guts to fake his order. Moreover, this was indeed something that the damn old man would do because that old man had always liked to drag him down and cause trouble for him. You can go back and ask Grandpa if you don't believe me, Lan Ninger said confidently. Humph. She wanted Lan Lai to know who was the most favored in the Lan family today. Of course I will ask. But they have to enter the city with me, Lan Lai said without any room for negotiation. Originally, his status wasn't high in front of Leng Ruoxue and the others. Now, if he embarrassed himself again at the door of his house, he wouldn't have the face to hang around with them in the future. How dare you disobey Grandpa's orders? Lan Ninger questioned with a very smug expression. Is this the first time? Lan Lai asked with a smile. He had disobeyed the old man's orders countless times since he was young, but he had never seen the old man do anything to him. You will regret it. Grandpa will definitely not let you go this time. What are you waiting for? Hurry up and go. The patriarch has ordered us not to let these people enter the city, Lan Ninger said loudly. But after waiting for a long time, Lan Ninger didn't see any reaction from the people behind her. Do you also want to disobey orders? Lan Ninger said, very displeased, feeling that her authority had been challenged. Fifth Miss, we don't dare to hurt young master, the leader of the guards said helplessly. Boo-hoo. Patriarch. Why did you do this to us? We didn't do anything wrong. Why did you implicate us in your fight with young master? He won't be the young master soon. What are you afraid of? Lan Ninger roared in exasperation. But he is still the young master now. We will be punished if we accidentally hurt young master, the leader of the guards said with a troubled face. Humph. We're only here to keep up appearances for Fifth Miss, not to be her thugs. Lan Ninger didn't know that she couldn't command them at all. Lan Lai, no wonder some people dare to shout at you. So your young master position is about to be lost. Leng Ruoxue said sympathetically after watching the commotion for a long time. But what do these guards mean? Their reactions are really interesting. I don't care about the young master position. Whoever wants it can take it, Lan Lai said nonchalantly. Humph. If I hadn't lost the bet with that damn old man, I wouldn't have become this young master at all. Boo-hoo. Alas. From the looks of it, we can't enter Blue Cloud City today, Leng Ruoxue said with a light sigh, but there was no anger on her face at all. Shuer, let's camp at the city gate since we can't enter, Ling Qingtian said nonchalantly, his composure unbelievable. Yes, Shuer, I'm a little hungry, Freak said pitifully, his bright star eyes shining like obsidian. Then what are we waiting for? Let's hurry up. Leng Ruoxue ordered, and everyone hurriedly set up their tents. The corner of Lan Ming's mouth twitched a little. He watched Leng Ruoxue and the others quickly set up the tents, then start a fire and take out a pile of food. Several black lines couldn't help rolling down his forehead. Are you preparing to camp already? Lan Ming was really impressed by their casualness. But what he didn't understand was what his father was doing. Lan Lai and the others were already mentally prepared, so they were relatively calm. Alas. Leng Ruoxue even dared to sleep on the arena, so what was so strange about camping outside Blue Cloud City? The Lan sisters and the Lan family guards were a little dumbfounded because they didn't know the temperament of Leng Ruoxue and the others. Ah! What's going on? Chapter 423, Setting up a stall and poaching in the corner. 1. Who allowed you to camp here? Lan Ning'er roared with displeasure after recovering from her momentary daze. What? Are you not allowing us to enter the city or camp outside the city? Leng Ruoxue said with a light smile. Of course not. Hurry up and scram back to Windless City. Blue Cloud City isn't a place where you ugly monsters can come. Lan Ning'er said cockily. As far as I know, this Blue Cloud City belongs to your Lan family, but it doesn't seem to be the case outside the city. Leng Ruoxue said with a smile, neither annoyed nor angry. But that doesn't mean you're allowed to camp here. Lan Ning'er shouted angrily. She didn't know if the area outside of the city belonged to the Lan family, but she wouldn't allow these ugly monsters to stay here to be an eyesore. The Lan family's fifth young lady is really overbearing. It's fine if you don't allow guests to enter the city, but we can't even stay outside the city. Alas! Grandpa, why don't we leave? The Lan family is a colossus, and small characters like us can't afford to offend them. Leng Ruoxue complained with a long face, singing her tune well. Shuer, don't be scared. We definitely can't bow down to evil forces. Freak hugged Leng Ruoxue tenderly and comforted her. But we really can't afford to offend the Lan family. Leng Ruoxue leaned in Freak's arms, her face full of worry. My dear granddaughter. We're not afraid. Justice is in the hearts of people. We'll camp outside the city today. I want to see if the Lan family will really chase us away. Moreover, I want everyone who enters the city to see that this is how the Lan family treats guests. We can't enter the city gate even though we have an invitation. Leng Qingtian said calmly, also neither annoyed nor angry. Lass, isn't it just a medicinal herb exchange meeting? We have so many good herbs. It doesn't matter if we enter the city or not, old Zhao echoed, implying that they could just exchange outside the city. It was the same. Yes. You have a point. Leng Ruoxue nodded in agreement. Then she took out a signboard from the bracelet and placed it on the road to the city. On the signboard were the words Medicinal Herb Exchange. Then she let Charm and the other beasts out as part-timer sales promoters, part-time exchange promoters. Moreover, Leng Ruoxue especially took out a few recliners, a huge parasol, and various drinks and snacks from the bracelet for them to enjoy because she was afraid that they would be tired. Old Zhao looked at the scene in front of him and rubbed his eyes. He finally confirmed that it was real. Ah! Her speed is really godlike. Impressive. Impressive. In fact, Leng Ruoxue had already decided to do so before old Zhao said those words. Therefore, she had sent a voice transmission to Empty and got him to arrange everything earlier. Although she didn't know the true intentions of the Lan family's patriarch, she would definitely let these clowns of the Lan family know the consequences of provoking her. This time, everyone, including Lan Ming, was dumbfounded again. Leng Ruoxue's group was already used to it. Ah! Are they poaching customers right outside of the Lan family's doors? Ruoxue, you, Lan Lai's eyes lit up, and he was so excited that he stammered. Heavens! How enjoyable! Ha! Let's see how that damn old man will clean up this mess. He couldn't help gloating. Lan Lai, you enter the city. I'm not going in either, Leng Wudi said. He felt that he would encounter more interesting things with Leng Ruoxue and the others. I'm not going in either, Sun Ting said. Hee, then I won't be going home either. I'll stay outside the city to accompany you. Lan Lai said happily. He was so excited now. He was happy just thinking that the damn old man was going to be frustrated. No, Leng Ruoxue refused. Why? Lan Lai asked pitifully, almost crying from anxiety. Come here. Leng Ruoxue called Lan Lai and the others. Then she whispered something in their ears. The expressions on their faces were very strange, but they nodded frequently. Let's enter the city, Lan Lai said in high spirits. Leng Wudi and Sun Ting nodded, and the three of them strode into Blue Cloud City first. Lan Ming, aren't you going into the city? Leng Ruoxue glanced at Lan Ming. She thought Lan Ming would go in with Lan Lai and the others. I brought you here. If you can't enter, how can I enter the city alone? Lan Ming said lightly. In fact, even if he entered the city, he would still be looking for an inn to stay in. If that was the case, he would rather be together with Leng Ruoxue and the others. Leng Ruoxue nodded. In fact, she knew about Lan Ming's situation. You are really courting death. Lan Ninger, who had just returned to her senses, roared directly after reacting. Your young master has entered the city. Aren't you going back? Leng Ruoxue ignored Lan Ninger's anger and spoke directly to the group of guards. Let's go, the leader of the guards directly ordered, and all the guards left Lan Ninger and her sister, turning around to leave. Little sister Ninger, let's go too. Lan Feier saw that her beloved had entered the city and was in no mood to stay outside the city. Humph. Just you wait. You are dead meat. With that, Lan Ninger angrily returned to Blue Cloud City with Lan Feier. Schwer, everyone has left. Let's cook. Freak suggested. He was hungry. Yes, let's get started. Leng Ruoxue said helplessly. Alas. This foodie. But they had planned to cook anyway. Everyone worked together and quickly prepared a sumptuous table of food. After lunch was ready, Leng Ruoxue sent some to her cute beasts and then returned to have lunch with everyone. After eating, Leng Ruoxue felt like taking an afternoon nap. She said goodbye to everyone and returned to her tent. Little NN, continue working hard. Well, take a nap too. Leng Qingtian looked at Zheng En. Okay, please go ahead. Zheng En said hurriedly. It was noon, and there was so much sunlight. If they didn't have to leave someone to guard the stall, he also wanted to sleep. Everyone said goodbye to Zheng En and then entered their tents. After some time, Zheng En leaned back on a recliner and fell asleep. Chapter 424, Setting up a stall and poaching in the corner. 1. Zheng En, wake up. Charm stretched out his little paw and shook Zheng En's clothes. Ah. Did I fall asleep? Charm, what's the matter? Zheng En said awkwardly. Boo-hoo. How did I fall asleep? Someone wants to exchange herbs. Charm pointed at the old man beside him. At this moment, Zheng En discovered that there was a very inconspicuous little old man dressed in ordinary clothes standing beside Charm. Although this little old man wasn't good-looking, his eyes were overflowing with light. Moreover, he was sizing Zheng En up. Ah. May I know what medicinal herbs you want to exchange for? Zheng En asked very politely. He couldn't tell this old man's strength at all, so it had to be above his. I heard from those beasts that you have all sorts of medicinal herbs, so I came to take a look. If there's anything I need, I'm willing to exchange with you for something of equal value, the little old man said skeptically. Alas. He had lived for many years, and to be honest, he had really never seen such an eloquent beast. If not for his strong willpower, he would probably have been convinced by them long ago. Old man, take a look at this first. Zheng En took out 2 signs from his ring and placed them in front of the old man. The 2 signs each had the herbs they needed and the herbs they possessed. Do you really have all these? The little old man said with a face full of shock and disbelief after looking at the contents of the sign. Heavens! Who is this person? He actually has all the herbs I need. Of course. How is it? Old man, is there anything you want to exchange for? Zheng En asked with a smile. He knew very well that the medicinal herbs they possessed were enough to make any alchemist go crazy. Yes, I want to exchange for these, the little old man said happily. Alas! It seemed like he didn't come for nothing this time. Do you have what we need? Zheng Yan asked again. Their young lady felt that they didn't have enough herbs, so she wanted to exchange for some that they didn't have or didn't have a lot. I need to exchange for 10 types of herbs, but I only have 8 that you need. Can I exchange something else? The little old man said after some hesitation. Something else? What is it? Zheng Yan asked curiously. At this moment, the little old man took out a red flower from his ring. It was palm-sized and red like fire. There seemed to be liquid flowing slowly in the petals. Moreover, the fragrance of the flower alone was refreshing. Can I use this to exchange for the remaining 2 herbs? The little old man said reluctantly. He had been keeping it ever since he unintentionally obtained this red flower. Moreover, he had searched through all the ancient books, but he didn't know what this red flower was. But he was sure that this flower was definitely something good. This, Zheng Yan couldn't make up his mind. Every one of the medicinal herbs that their young lady took out to exchange for was a priceless treasure on the boundless heaven continent. Moreover, many medicinal herbs were unable to be measured with money. But if he exchanged their precious medicinal herbs for a red flower that he couldn't name at all, to be honest, he really didn't have the guts. Zheng Yan, exchange with this old man. Leng Ruoxue opened the tent and walked out. Yes, Mississippi. Zheng Yan was relieved. The little old man looked up at Leng Ruoxue and sized her up. The more he looked, the more surprised he was. The fire attribute on this little girl was so rich. She should also be an alchemist. Moreover, he didn't expect a mystic monarch to actually call an elementary mystic Mississippi. I wonder which family she's from. Old man, I'm just an ordinary person on the boundless heaven continent. He lost a bet with me, so he recognized me as his master, Leng Ruoxue explained understandingly. Alas! This old man's thoughts were all written on his face. It was impossible for her to pretend not to see it. Ah! The little old man was embarrassed and wiped the cold sweat off his forehead. Was I being so obvious? Moreover, he didn't believe what Leng Ruoxue said about being just an ordinary person. Would ordinary people have so many precious herbs? But since she was unwilling to reveal her identity, he naturally wouldn't force her. Old man, what herbs do you need? Leng Ruoxue asked with a light smile. I need a silver bell flower, a stalk of rootless grass, a spiritwood seed. The little old man said all the herbs he needed in one go. Then he took out the herbs Leng Ruoxue wanted from his ring and handed them to her along with the red flower. Leng Ruoxue took the herbs handed to her by the little old man. Old man, choose 3 more herbs. The value of this red flower isn't something that 2 herbs can compare with. Little friend, do you know this red flower? The little old man asked with a face full of pleasant surprise, his old face full of anticipation. I guess so. Leng Ruoxue said. Then please tell me, young friend. Treat it as offsetting the value of this red flower, the little old man said anxiously. He wanted to know what this flower was. It had been many years. Now that someone finally recognized it, he wouldn't let go of this opportunity no matter what. The origin of this red flower can't offset its value, so you should choose 3 more. Leng Ruoxue said. She didn't want to take advantage of this old man. All right then. But little friend, you have to tell me the origin of this flower, the little old man said worriedly. Okay. Leng Ruoxue nodded. I've chosen. The little old man looked at Leng Ruoxue eagerly after choosing 3 herbs. This red flower is called the blood-weeping flower. It is the main ingredient for concocting the blood-weeping pill. The blood-weeping pill is a legendary divine-grade pill. Leng Ruoxue only gave a simple explanation, but she believed that this old man would understand. Blood-weeping pill. No wonder. The little old man couldn't help sighing. It was actually the legendary blood-weeping flower. Alas! He had heard of the famous blood-weeping flower. However, the records of the blood-weeping flower, as well as the pill formula for the blood-weeping pill, had already disappeared from the boundless heaven continent for thousands of years. No one could refine the blood-weeping pill on the current boundless heaven continent. It was a pill that would make even mystic supremacies go crazy over. Unfortunately, it had long been lost. Chapter 425, Setting up a stall and poaching in the corner. 1. Old man, now that you know the origin of this flower, do you still want to exchange it with me? Leng Ruoxue asked with a light smile. Yes, I won't change my mind. Although the blood-weeping flower is precious, I'm afraid I won't be able to concoct the pill even if I devote my entire life to it. However, can you let me take a look if you concoct the blood-weeping pill one day in the future? The little old man asked expectantly. Since this woman in front of him knew the blood-weeping flower, she might also concoct the blood-weeping pill in the future. Okay. Leng Ruoxue nodded in agreement. She had a good impression of this little old man. She was just testing his character by asking him whether he would go back on his word. Then I wish you success in advance, the little old man said happily, his face full of relief. Old man, these are the herbs you want. Please check them. While Leng Ruoxue was speaking to the little old man, Zheng En had already taken out the herbs the old man wanted from the ring and handed them to him. Little friend, these herbs. The little old man was very surprised after taking the herbs and looking at them because the quality of these herbs was really too good, better than he had imagined. Moreover, all the herbs were actually fresh. This was really unbelievable. What? Aren't you satisfied? Leng Ruoxue teased. She was especially happy to obtain the blood-weeping flower. Ah, no, I'm satisfied. I'm satisfied. I'm just a little surprised. The quality of these herbs is too good. They will definitely make all the alchemists crazy, the little old man quickly said. He knew that this little friend in front of him was just joking with him, but he still explained very seriously, afraid that she would misunderstand. The main reason was that he was too satisfied with the exchange this time. He didn't expect to exchange for all the herbs he needed so easily. He originally thought that it would be good if he could exchange for half of them. After all, almost all the herbs he wanted were things that couldn't be bought with money. It's good that you're satisfied, Leng Ruoxue said with a light smile. Then, little friend, why don't you go to Blue Cloud City to exchange with others? The quality of these herbs will definitely make all the alchemists crazy, the little old man said with a face full of doubt. Since they were already in Blue Cloud City, why didn't they enter the city? Even if they weren't qualified to participate in the official exchange, they could still set up a stall at the entrance of the venue to exchange with others. After all, many alchemists did so he couldn't understand it at all. Alas! It's a long story. The young master of the Lan family originally sent us an invitation, but the fifth young lady of the Lan family refused to let us enter the city no matter what. She is the most favored little princess of the Lan family, and we are only ordinary people. How could we dare to disobey the little princess? You know, even the young master of the Lan family has to do things according to Lan Ninger's mood. Not to mention us. Therefore, we could only set up a stall outside the city to exchange for some herbs we need, Leng Ruoxue said with tears in her eyes. She was so pitiful. She was just short of tears. Ah. But I heard that the fifth young lady of the Lan family is educated and polite. She's a very well-mannered young lady from a prestigious family, and she's very filial. There's no one in the Lan family who doesn't like her, the little old man said doubtfully. Old man, haven't you heard that rumors stop at the wise? You have to see for yourself. What I just told you is my personal experience. Lan Ninger is quite beautiful, but her personality? It's really not flattering. In addition, she doesn't know manners or respect at all. My companions are already so old, but she still calls them ugly. Give us your honest opinion. I admit that we are a little ugly, but who are we getting in the way with our ugliness? Don't you think so? Leng Ruoxue began to ramble on as if she had met a bosom buddy. The more the little old man heard, the more his brows furrowed. As for Zheng Yan, who had been standing by the side, his forehead was full of black lines, and his heart was full of cold sweat. Ah! No matter who you offend, don't offend my young lady. Otherwise, you won't even know how you died. Is what you said true? The little old man asked doubtfully after listening for a while. It's absolutely true, even more so than pearls. Leng Ruoxue promised. Then she deliberately paused and continued, Old man, I won't hide it from you. I heard that the fifth young lady of the Lan family is a very talented alchemist. Moreover, it's said that the master of the Alchemist Association headquarters president intends to take her in as his disciple personally. Alas! That poor old man. I'm praying for him, hoping that his tolerance is strong enough not to be angered to death by Lan Ninger. Ah! Would that old man be so miserable if he accepted Lan Ninger as his disciple? The little old man's mouth twitched. Isn't this girl exaggerating a little too much? Old man, if you don't believe me, you can verify it yourself. With your current attire, Lan Ninger will definitely treat you as a beggar, Leng Ruoxue said confidently. Surely not, right? The little old man looked down at the clothes on his body. Although they were not very luxurious, they were very clean. She shouldn't treat him as a beggar. Why don't we make a bet? Leng Ruoxue said with a light smile. She was really addicted to gambling. The little old man was interested and asked excitedly, bet on what? Old man, if you win, I will provide you with whatever herbs you need for free as long as I have them. If you lose, you have to take him in as your disciple. How about this bet? Leng Ruoxue said with a smile, her expression very sincere and full of confidence. The little old man was about to say something when he felt someone tugging at the corner of his shirt. He lowered his head. It was the little fox. Ah! Little fox, what's the matter? The little old man asked curiously. Old man, don't bet with my master. You will lose for sure. Charm's fluffy little face was full of sympathy. Ah! Why? The little old man was a little puzzled and couldn't help thinking, does even this little beast not think highly of my chances? However, he might also be afraid that his master will lose. That Lan Ninger is so naughty, old man. Lan Ninger thinks I'm cute and beautiful, but she actually wants to kill me and make me into a scarf. Boo-hoo. I'm so scared. Charm doesn't want to be made into a scarf. Charm's beautiful purple eyes were full of tears as he spoke pitifully. His scared little appearance was enough to make anyone pity him. Chapter 426, Verification, 1, What? The old man was angry when he heard this. She wouldn't even let go of such cute little beasts. He only had two hobbies in his life. One was alchemy, and the other was cute little beasts. Otherwise, he wouldn't have listened to these little beasts at the city gate for so long. They were so cute that they were irresistible. Old man, I've heard that some humans especially like to use foxes as scarves, but it's not my fault that I'm beautiful. Moreover, I have my master. Boo-hoo. What should I do if the Lan family's fifth young lady wants to snatch me by force? My master can't beat the Lan family, Charm said worriedly, tears rolling in his crystal-like purple eyes. Don't be afraid. Lan Ninger won't dare to touch you with me around, the little old man promised. Really? But you are just an ordinary little old man. You can't beat the Lan family, so we shouldn't implicate you. Moreover, don't bet with my master. You will definitely lose, Charm reminded again, looking like he was siding with outsiders. Charm. I really doted on you for nothing, Leng Ruoxue said with slight disappointment, but she was already laughing in her heart. She didn't expect the most understanding Charm to be so scheming. In fact, Lan Ninger had never seen him before, and of course she had never said anything like using him as a scarf. But it was possible if Lan Ninger saw charm. Master, this old man will definitely lose. We can't take advantage of him like this. Charm said very kindly, his face full of guilt for his master. Little friend. I'll bet with you, the little old man suddenly said. Even if he was doomed to lose, he wanted to see what kind of person Lan Ninger was. Ha, old man, let me first congratulate you on receiving a good disciple, Leng Ruoxue said with a smile. Don't congratulate me too early. What if I win? The little old man said, unwilling to admit defeat. He wanted to see if Lan Ninger was really useless apart from her talent. Miss, I can't be the wager, Zheng En suddenly said. Ah. Why? The little old man's face was full of question marks. I don't have the qualifications to be an alchemist, Zheng En said honestly. All alchemists who accepted disciples hoped that the disciple would surpass the master. But he couldn't do alchemy openly, so he really didn't want to disappoint this old man. Oh, you haven't registered or been appraised at the Alchemist Association, right? That's okay. You just have to register. As for the appraisal, there's no rush, the little old man comforted. I registered, but later, I was expelled from the Alchemist Association headquarters, Zheng En said with some difficulty. Ah. Why is that? The little old man's eyes widened in disbelief. When did the Alchemist Association headquarters expel alchemists? Why didn't he know? Because, Zheng En really couldn't say it. Old man, do you still dare to take Zheng En as your disciple after knowing that he was an alchemist expelled from the Alchemist Association headquarters? Leng Ruoxue asked provocatively with her eyebrows slightly raised, helping Zheng En out of the predicament. What's there to be afraid of? I've lived for so long, and I've never been afraid of anyone. The little old man couldn't be provoked, and his powerful aura spread out. Old man, I'm just a small elementary mystic. I can't take any shock or scare. Leng Ruoxue teased, but she was muttering in her heart, this little old man is indeed a powerhouse, and he's even stronger than I imagined. Ha, Schwer, this old man might look inconspicuous, but he's a mystic supremacy. Empty said via voice transmission. Hee, doesn't that mean I found a powerful master for Zheng En? Leng Ruoxue also replied via voice transmission. Yes, this boy Zheng En is really lucky to have met you. Empty praised. He's my subordinate. Of course, I have to plan for him, Leng Ruoxue said matter-of-factly and then cut off the connection. After communicating with Empty, Leng Ruoxue turned her gaze to the little old man. In her eyes, this little old man was about the same as a heavenly material and earthly treasure. They were all so precious. Moreover, she had already decided that she had to think of a way to get this little old man to take Zheng En as his disciple. Zheng En would be considered to have a backer in the future if he had such a powerful master. The little old man hurriedly retracted his might and said with some embarrassment, Hee, I'm sorry. Little friend, I was too excited. It's okay, Zheng En. Hurry up and greet your master. Leng Ruoxue reminded Zheng En, who was stunned. Little friend. Our bet hasn't begun yet. Don't be too anxious, the little old man said helplessly as 2 drops of cold sweat dripped down his forehead. Miss. Zheng En looked at Leng Ruoxue awkwardly. It's only a matter of time. Leng Ruoxue said confidently. Ha. Little friend, since you're so confident, then our bet will be limited to 5 days. Within 5 days, I'll think of a way to come into contact with Lan Ninger. If she really is as you say, I'll take this brat as my disciple. If you've lied to me, then you have to be ready to provide the herbs I need at any time in the future, the little old man said with a loud laugh. He didn't seem to lose out in this bet no matter if he won or lost. He could already tell that Zheng En's aptitude was very good. No problem. But in order to prove that you really understand Lan Ninger's situation, let Charm stay by your side for the time being as a witness. Leng Ruoxue said in a businesslike manner. In fact, she had another purpose for letting Charm follow the little old man, hee hee. Okay, the little old man answered readily. Master. Charm jumped into Leng Ruoxu's arms, his face full of reluctance. Boo-hoo. I don't want to leave master. Charm, you are a witness to this bet. This mission is very important. Leng Ruoxu caressed the soft fur on Charm's body and comforted him. Master, I will definitely complete the mission, Charm said with tears in his eyes. Ah. Little friend, don't worry. I'll take good care of him, the little old man said speechlessly. It would only be 5 days away from his master. Did he have to make it seem like they were parting ways through life and death? Not only do you have to take good care of him, but you also have to protect him, Leng Ruoxu reminded. Chapter 427, Verification, 2, Yes, I understand, the little old man quickly promised. He would always keep this little fox with him at all times, so Charm should be fine. It's good that you understand. Leng Ruoxu nodded with satisfaction. Little friend, I'll enter the city first. The little old man took Charm from Leng Ruoxu and hugged him in his arms. Okay, old man. Please help us promote if anyone wants to exchange herbs. And this. It's filled with Charm's favorite food, enough for him to eat for 5 days. Leng Ruoxu handed the old man a storage ring and asked him to keep it on Charm's behalf. Little friend. Don't worry. I won't let your precious pet beast starve, the little old man said with a face full of black lines. Alas. This girl is underestimating me a little too much. Does she think that I can't even support a pet beast? However, he still took the ring, took out a thin thread from his ring, passed the string through the ring, and tied it around Charm's neck. Old man, you might not know, but my beasts are too picky. I have to prepare food for them every time I go out, Leng Ruoxu explained. Well, she was very satisfied with this little old man's thoughtfulness. Hee hee, looks like you're also someone who likes to pamper pet beasts, the little old man said happily as if he had found a comrade. Yes, it's getting late. Hurry up and enter the city. Leng Ruoxu urged. Little friend, we're leaving. See you in 5 days. Then the little old man walked into Blue Cloud City with Charm in his arms without looking back. As soon as the little old man left, Freak and the others emerged from their tents. Ha! Lass, you're so naughty, old Zao said with a smile. They had heard every word of the conversation between the girl and the old man just now. Alas! If the girl wanted to plot against someone, no one could escape. Schwer, you're addicted to gambling. Freak said lovingly as he hugged Leng Ruoxu's slender waist. I just want to find a master for Zheng Yan. That old man is very powerful. Apart from being a mystic supremacy, his alchemist level isn't low either. Leng Ruoxu glanced at old Zao and explained. If she wasn't mistaken, that old man should be an alchemy supremacy. Miss, I can learn from you. There's no need to look for a master, Zheng Yan said. Even an alchemy supremacy couldn't compare to his young lattice strength. Zheng Yan, it's our first time here after all, and our strength isn't very high right now. If you have an alchemy supremacy as your master, I'm sure the people from the Alchemy Association headquarters won't dare to make things too difficult for you, Leng Ruoxu said. Miss, Zheng Yan was a little choked up. He looked at Leng Ruoxu gratefully, his heart full of gratitude. Boo-hoo. Miss is so good to me and so thoughtful for me. Alright, don't be like this. Hurry up and get to work. Leng Ruoxu urged. Since Zheng Yan was hers, she only wanted Zheng Yan's loyalty. As for gratitude, there was no need to be so polite with her own people. Yes, miss. Zheng Yan said excitedly. At this moment, Darling happened to bring someone over. Beloved master, someone wants to exchange herbs with us again. Darling jumped into Leng Ruoxu's arms, rubbed against her affectionately, and acted coquettishly. Yes, good. Leng Ruoxue caressed Darling's little head and coaxed him. I want to exchange for a stalk of golden silk grass, said the middle-aged man Darling brought over. Take a look at our conditions first. Zheng En pointed at the two signs in front of him. Okay, the middle-aged man answered and began reading carefully. I'm willing to exchange my 100-year-old ice lotus with you, the middle-aged man said directly after reading it. Okay, take a look first. Zheng En took out a small stalk of grass as thin as a golden thread and handed it to the middle-aged man, asking him to inspect the goods first. This is the ice lotus. The middle-aged man glanced at the golden silk grass and impatiently exchanged the ice lotus for it. After the transaction, Zheng En saw the middle-aged man still standing here and asked doubtfully, "Do you want to exchange for anything else?" No. I just want to ask if I can set up a stall beside you, the middle-aged man said shyly. Of course you can. Leng Ruoxue suppressed her smile. He, set it up. Do it here. She would be happy if the Lan family's medicinal herb exchange meeting was awkward. Thank you. The middle-aged man thanked them, then took out the herbs he had prepared beforehand and also set up a stall outside the city gate. Gradually, more and more alchemists exchanged herbs with Leng Ruoxue and the others. Similarly, more and more alchemists set up stalls outside the city gate. In Blue Cloud City, the sky gradually darkened in the evening. The little old man who had made a bet with Leng Ruoxue was walking on the busy streets with mixed feelings. In his arms, Charm was dozing off with his eyes narrowed. The little old man looked resentfully at the soundly sleeping Charm and felt very uncomfortable in his heart. He had only entered the city for half a day, but he was already deeply affected because he found that this little fox's food was better than his. During dinner just now, he had casually found a food stall on the street and had a simple meal. But this little fox's dinner was incomparably sumptuous, and the aroma was so alluring. Boo-hoo! My master is the best master in the world. The little fox had said this to him happily and looked at him with pity earlier. This also greatly stimulated the little old man. So after dinner, he searched the streets, wanting to find the best inn in Blue Cloud City. He had to recover his face in front of the little fox. Boo-hoo! I don't want to see the little fox's sympathetic gaze anymore. I really didn't lack money. Ah! This one. The little old man searched for a long time and finally found an inn that satisfied him on the busiest street in Blue Cloud City. The inn in front of the little old man was called Home. From the outside, the decoration was very luxurious. Although the entire inn only had 3 floors, it occupied a very large area. A huge signboard hung above the inn, with the word Home on it. In the lower right corner was a flying eagle with its wings spread wide. Everyone knew that this was the Lan family's emblem, indicating that this inn belonged to the Lan family. Chapter 428, Verification, 3. Since it's an inn of the Lan family, the service shouldn't be poor, the little old man thought. He was still very confident in the reputation of the Lan family. With this thought, he walked right in. Gentlemen, would you like to dine in? The waiter came forward and asked after seeing the little old man. I want to stay in the inn, the little old man said lightly. Ah. I'm really sorry. There have been too many alchemists coming to our Blue Cloud City recently, so the ordinary guest rooms are already full. Do you want to change to another inn? There's a cheap and economical one just 2 streets away from our inn that is very suitable for you. The waiter was very polite, but his implied meaning was very uncomfortable. Charm raised his eyes slightly and said lightly, Old man, just stay here. I'll pay for it if you don't have money. Who said I don't have money? Which other rooms do you have? I want one, the little old man roared angrily. The way the waiter looked at him made him want to beat him up. Ah. There's only a luxury suite left, but it's very expensive for a night there, the waiter said carefully. Is this money enough? The little old man took out a silver card from his ring and waved it in front of the waiter. Enough, the waiter stammered. He really didn't expect such an inconspicuous old man to have a silver card. One had to know that silver cards were issued by the Leng family of the three great families. Moreover, they had established a contract, and the cards were under the protection of heaven and earth laws. No one could fake one. Furthermore, the minimum balance for owning a silver card was 50 million purple gold coins. Then why haven't you brought us to the room yet? The little old man roared furiously. He had only been away from the continent for a little more than a decade, but he didn't expect the Lan family to become snobbish. Yes, please follow me. After knowing that this little old man was very rich, the waiter didn't dare to delay at all and directly led him to the luxury suite on the second floor. Is this the one? The little old man asked as he stood at the door. Yes. Are you satisfied with it? The waiter said respectfully and pushed open the door. The little old man walked into the room, casually glanced around, and said coldly, barely. Ah. I'll be leaving first. The waiter bowed and left the room. After the waiter left, the little old man sat down on the bed gloomily and glared at Charm, who was covering his mouth and laughing. He said with slight displeasure, "Is it very funny?" Ha! Charm couldn't help laughing hysterically after hearing this. Laugh. Laugh all you want. I'm going to bed, the little old man said irritably, depressed to death. Ha! Charm also lay down on the bed after laughing enough. Before long, the human and beast entered dreamland. The next day. After waking up, the little old man woke Charm up. Charm opened his beautiful purple eyes and said with some displeasure, "I haven't slept enough." Charm. It's almost noon. We can't sleep anymore. We have to think of a way to get close to Lan Ninger, the little old man said with a frown while thinking, How can I get close to Lan Ninger to see her true appearance? You're the one who wants to get close to her, not me. I don't want to deliver myself to her door and make a scarf for her, Charm said without interest. Then, can you help me think of an idea? The little old man coaxed with a smile. A day had passed. He had thought of several plans, but he rejected them in the end. Actually, you don't have to get close to her at all. Charm smiled mysteriously. If I don't get close to her, how can I see her true appearance? The little old man asked in puzzlement. Why don't you ask around on the streets and see what everyone thinks of Lan Ninger? Charm suggested. Ah. That's a good idea, the little old man said after some thought. Then what are we waiting for? Let's go quickly. The bet between you and my master ends in only 4 days, Charm reminded very kindly. Let's eat something first. I'm a little hungry, the little old man said pitifully. Okay. Charm nodded and jumped onto the little old man's shoulder. The little old man left the room with Charm and walked toward the dining room. When they arrived at the dining room, the little old man found a window seat and sat down. He ordered a few dishes to eat, and Charm was naturally eating the food Leng Ruoxue had prepared for him. While eating, the little old man suddenly heard the conversation at the next table. Moreover, the content of their conversation was about Lan Ninger, so he pricked up his ears to listen. Hey, did you hear? The Lan family's 5th young lady is about to become His Excellency Du Min's disciple, whispered a middle-aged man at the next table. Really? A young man said in disbelief. It's true. This matter has been made public in the Lan family for a long time. All we can do now is wait for His Excellency Du Min to come to our Blue Cloud City, the middle-aged man said seriously. If Lan Ninger becomes His Excellency Du Min's disciple, wouldn't she be the junior sister of the Alchemist Association headquarters president? The young man said in surprise. Yes. I really don't know what His Excellency is thinking. He actually accepted Lan Ninger as his disciple. He really doesn't have eyes, the middle-aged man said with emotion. If Lan Ninger has such a big backer, won't she be able to do whatever she wants in the Lan family in the future? The young man said in realization. The middle-aged man looked around and lowered his voice. Of course. She's very arrogant now. I heard that the young master of the Lan family is about to change as well. Really? Tell me about Lan Ninger. The little old man suddenly ran to the next table and interrupted curiously. How can you eavesdrop on us? The middle-aged man questioned vigilantly. I didn't eavesdrop. You were talking too loudly. But don't worry. I won't talk nonsense. I just want to know about Lan Ninger. Tell me about her, the little old man said shamelessly. You really won't talk nonsense? The middle-aged man asked doubtfully. Don't worry. I'm not from Blue Cloud City, and I don't know you. How can I talk nonsense? But I want to understand this fifth young lady of the Lan family, the little old man said very sincerely. Chapter 429, Verification. 4. Why do you want to understand her? The middle-aged man couldn't help asking, his expression still skeptical. I heard from you that Lan Ninger doesn't seem to have a good temper. I'm afraid that I won't know what to do if I meet her, so I want to understand her first, the little old man said very patiently. Oh. Miss Lan Ninger is our boundless heaven continent's #1 beauty. However, if you see an incomparably beautiful woman on the streets, you have to avoid her so that you won't suffer from an undeserved calamity, the middle-aged man reminded kindly. Ah. Why is that? The little old man's face was full of question marks. Is Lan Ninger a tiger? Why should I avoid her? The middle-aged man was about to explain when someone suddenly shouted, Lan Ninger is here. Immediately, the entire restaurant became a mess, and everyone instantly scattered. The little old man looked at the empty dining room in surprise. The people had run away cleanly in the blink of an eye. Several black lines unnaturally rolled down his forehead. So what if Lan Ninger is here? Why are you running? Can she still eat you? The little old man thought. Even now, he didn't really believe Lan Ninger's power. After all, he hadn't seen it with his own eyes yet. Just as the little old man was frowning and thinking about it, Lan Ninger was led into the dining room. Fifth Miss, you're here. Hee, why didn't you inform us in advance so that we could prepare? The inn manager walked directly to Lan Ninger's side and said respectfully when he saw her. In fact, he was very annoyed with Lan Ninger in his heart, but she was a young lady of the Lan family. Therefore, he could only bear with it no matter how much he hated her. But every time Lan Ninger came, many guests would be scared away. Ah! Don't count the losses caused to the inn on him. I'm here for a surprise inspection. How can I investigate if I let you prepare? Lan Ninger said matter-of-factly, a smug smile on her beautiful face. Ah! Fifth Miss is right, the inn manager said with a smile. Lan Ninger casually glanced at the dining room and then said with slight dissatisfaction, Manager, why isn't there anyone here? Ah! The manager wiped the cold sweat off his forehead, not knowing how to answer. Could he say, because miss, you've scared them away? After hearing what Lan Ninger said, the little old man frowned, and the corner of his mouth twitched. Aren't I human? Isn't there still charm in me? Manager, does Grandpa know that this inn's business is so bad? Lan Ninger questioned with some dissatisfaction. Yes, the patriarch knows, the manager said carefully and then added in his heart, the patriarch also knows that business in the inn will only be so bad when you come here. Oh, Grandpa knows, but I have to tell Grandpa when we get home that the inn's business isn't good. How can we continue like this? Lan Ninger's beautiful face was full of worry. The patriarch will definitely be very happy that Fifth Miss is so concerned about the Lan family's business, the manager coaxed. But he couldn't help worrying in his heart. The business in the inn wouldn't be a problem as long as the fifth young lady stopped causing trouble a few times. Yes, Manager, why did you let a beggar in? Not just anyone can enter our stores. Lan Ninger turned her head and looked at the little old man disdainfully. The manager was at a loss for words. Lan Ninger liked to judge people by their appearance, so even if he said that this old man wasn't a beggar, it would probably not change her opinion. Little girl, are you referring to me as a beggar? The little old man pointed at himself and asked uncertainly. Then he looked around. Well, there was no one else in the inn except for him and the little fox. It's you. Not just anyone can enter our Lan family's stores. You're not qualified. Lan Ning'er said with a snobbish look. Little girl, didn't your parents teach you not to judge a book by its cover? The little old man said with some displeasure while suppressing his anger. You damn old man, how dare you try to teach me? Who do you think you are? Lan Ning'er was instantly angry and roared furiously when she saw this inconspicuous old man actually dared to lecture her. Little girl, you're really too rude. The little old man shook his head in disappointment. Alas! Why is the upbringing of the Lan family becoming worse and worse? He really couldn't understand. Humph. There's no need for manners with beggars, Lan Ning'er said nonchalantly. The little old man was silent. It was his first time coming into contact with this Lan Ning'er, but he knew that he had lost. It seemed like this Lan family's fifth young lady was really not a good person. Let's go. Charm had jumped off the table at some point and was gently tugging at the little old man's sleeve. Alas! Let's go. The little old man didn't want to stay in Blue Cloud City anymore. Otherwise, he would probably be even more disappointed. Manager, we're checking out. The little old man turned to look at the inn manager and handed him a silver card. Yes, please wait a moment. The inn manager respectfully took the silver card from the little old man and turned to settle the bill. After settling the bill, the little old man picked Charm up and turned to leave the inn. But he was stopped by someone after taking a few steps. Old thing, wait, Lan Ning'er said loudly, afraid that the old man was deaf and couldn't hear her. The little old man stopped and said irritably, Miss Lan, is there anything else? Is this little fox yours? Lan Ning'er's eyes lit up as she looked at Charm, who was entirely snow white without a single stray hair. Yes, he belongs to a beggar like me, the little old man said coldly. Leave this fox behind before you can leave, Lan Ning'er said domineeringly. Why? He's mine. The little old man hugged Charm tightly and pretended to be afraid. Humph. He's obviously mine. You stole my pet beast. Don't you all think so too? Lan Ning'er turned around and said to her subordinates, obviously lying through her teeth, you're tuning in to the Blissful Bookshelf YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.